The Sitrep Podcast is back with some legacy special forces action in the desert. I am your host, Ariskany Jim, and the subject that we're going to be looking at today is one of my favorite units in World War II. This is the Long Range Desert Group. These are the guys that sort of helped the SAS get their start in some ways. These are the guys who were SAS before the SAS. They were long-range, deep strike, special, like Tier 1 operators before it was cool, in a lot of ways. So, Jen says, I hear music and sound effects. Alright, awesome. Thanks very much. We are live. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and get stuck straight into it. So, like I said, the unit we're going to be looking at today is the Long Range Desert Group. They fought for the Commonwealth, I guess is the best way to put it. I say that specifically because they were part of, well, first the Western Desert Force, then 13th Corps, then eventually the 8th Army. They were pretty much, in charge of, or they were part of North Africa and the Middle East Command for the British in the early part of World War II, early and mid part of World War II. Although, honestly, most of them weren't British. I think this unit was started predominantly by New Zealanders and Rhodesians. Later on, they brought in some Australians, some Irishmen, some Scotsmen. So then, and then of course, some Englishmen came in later. So, like I said, it's a Commonwealth force. And they were around in some ways even before the little coastal strip where Rommel, Auchinleck, O'Connor, Montgomery, later on the Americans, fought their little part of World War II. I'm talking about way down here in the desert where, I'm serious, you might as well be on another planet, especially back in those days, where a lot of it wasn't even mapped, a lot of it wasn't even charted. This is way before GPS, clearly. And what we'd be talking about is, these guys were working for, like, the Imperial Geographic Survey or something like that, basically contracted to go out into the desert and, tell modern civilization what the hell's going on, if anything, in this, again, back in the 30s and early 40s, way down in, the deep, like, beneath the Qatar Depression in the Libyan Sand Sea down into the, the heart of the Sahara Desert, where armies do not operate, again, especially back in those days. When the war began between the British and the Italians, September 1940, first started here between, what was then controlled by the Italians, Libyan Africa, and Egypt was technically its own kingdom, but let's get real, it was totally a British protectorate in those days. So, long story short, take your first shot. You had the Italians in Libya, you had the British in Egypt, and they got into a scuffle here. Right off the bat, they started off launching these deep raids. They weren't even raids. They started off as reconnaissance missions, way down into this, again, this bottomless desert. Sometimes 500, 800, 1,000, 1,500 miles deep into the desert. No other, group of people in the world could do this, but like 30 or 40 guys, knew the desert well enough, knew their vehicles well enough, knew where pre-staged and buried caches of water and fuel and other supply spare parts, where they had pre-staged them and buried them out in the desert on like these barely marked locations. And they would go down there, and again, like a lot of special forces, especially in World War II, their initial objective was just reconnaissance. They would go in there, they would find the Italians bringing in more troops in Tripoli and Benghazi. These were the two main ports in Libya back then. They still are, but they were pretty much the only two ports. I mean, Tobruk was a port, but it was a pretty small port. And when the line was pushed back in those days, as far back as Mersa Matruh, the front line between the British and the Italians, again, some of these missions would take them, like, here's the scale. Some of these missions would take them, like, hundreds of miles, if not over 1,000 miles, into what was, especially back in those days, a literally trackless desert. There was nothing out there, folks. It wasn't like fighting on the Golan Heights or in the Suez or at El Alamein or Tobruk or any of these famous, quote, desert battlefields. This is desert with a capital D. Again, especially before any kind of satellite navigation. you were like on your own out there. They would just like keep track of what the Axis was bringing up along those coastal roads. Report back to CNC Middle East back there at Alexandria, and let them know what was going on. Later on in early 1941, they started actually engaging and shooting at people. They started not just reconnaissance, but some light strikes. Although again, they started off as a desert survival force, a desert navigation force, and a reconnaissance force was really their primary purpose in the early part of their history. Hello, Gaz. How you doing? Who am I playing against tonight, Jim? Gaz, I could not get an opponent for today. So this is just going to be a demo game, Valor Victory, long-range desert group versus Italian garrison units. We're commemorating the 80th anniversary of a famous raid that the long-range desert group launched on the night of 13 to 14 September 1942. So, as 1941 would progress, it became more and more apparent that not only did we want to just watch, or it became more apparent to the British, not only did they just want to watch what the Italians, and of course by now the Germans had come into it, what the Italians and Germans were bringing into those ports, Tripoli, Benghazi, and moving them along that coastal road along the northern coast of North Africa there, but also start doing something about it, start blocking some of these roads, start hitting some of these targets. Fuel was a huge thing. If you could hit a fuel dump, that was a big deal, because fuel and water are two very, very precious commodities in this theater. In November of 1941, a guy by the name of he was a major at the time, I believe, David Sterling, very quickly picked up a lieutenant colonel. Started a little something that I think he called like the special services or something like that, and it would become eventually the SAS. It would gain full regimental status, I believe, in December of 42, maybe January of 43. So yeah, that hadn't happened yet. That was a brand new force. The first couple missions launched by the SAS were actually kind of a disaster. I think their first big operation was part of Operation Crusader, the attempt to break through and relieve Tobruk. Tobruk was under siege. To lift the siege of Tobruk, the SAS lost like a third of their force and completely failed the mission. It was damn near the end of Sterling's career right there. And they sort of remediated and fixed this problem by pairing the SAS, straight out combat guys, elite tier 1 operator, badass, combat guys, with the long range desert group, which was much more of a desert navigation and survival force. And I'm oversimplifying a little bit here, but the general idea was the LRDG would get the SAS to the target, and then SAS would execute the strike, and LRDG would get them home. Well, working side by side with guys out in the deep desert for months at a time, you very, very quickly start to learn from each other. Very, very shortly, the SAS became sort of a little bit more self-sufficient when it came to desert navigation, and the LRDG started to pick up a little bit more of a combat edge. And I think the apex of this cooperation between the two was in the fall of 1942, which is what we're looking at today. Well, good news. The Skype I had with the family has been canceled, so I can play if you would like. All right, so hopefully now you're seeing my screen.
I am. I can see the awesome terrain that is Tobruk.
Sweet. All right, guys. So, hey, apologies for the little bit of technical awkwardness there, but hey, good news. We have a player now. So, like I was saying, this little red line way over here shows the current location of the battle line. This is between 8th Army now. It's no longer the Western Desert Force, our 13th Corps. It's now fully the 8th Army. It wasn't always like that. And he's up against the fully Panzer Army Africa. Again, before that it was several Italian armies. And then they were joined by what was originally the Africa Corps, and now it was Panzer Group Africa. Then it finally became Panzer Army Africa. So there's a lot going on here. But anyway, they're bottlenecked here with this actual part of the desert that armies can actually operate. This is important for the Western Desert Force. This whole desert area that we see here on this silk map, and I'll explain what that is in just a second, armies can't operate in only about 10% of this. This kind of very, very narrow strip along the top. That little part of this North Africa that armies, like 100,000 people plus, can actually operate in, gets its narrowest here at El Alamein. That's why El Alamein became such a huge bottleneck and a big important part of the historical development of the North Africa campaign. Because here the British could finally mount a defense, and with the Qatar depression bracing their southern shoulder, Rommel could not do his one trick. Rommel's like the ultimate one-trick pony. He would just swing around the left and around the south and get around the British left time and time and time again. The only thing that is, what's the word, more amazing than Rommel kept getting away with it was the British kept falling for it. But here, the British finally got a position where Rommel wasn't going to be able to do that. This is important because the long-range desert group had to go around south through the Qatar, around the Qatar depression, and all the way the hell up here to where our strike is. How do they do that? Oh, I was going to talk about these silk maps here briefly. Hold on a second, guys. I did a test recording before the stream. The music sounded fine, but my sound engineer tells me it's not. Here are some of the vehicles that the long-range desert group would use famously. These were Chevrolet 30. I guess that's basically a 3,000-pound truck. These things were awesome. They were particularly well suited for the Western Desert. They made a couple adjustments. They would deliberately under-pressurize the tires that supposedly helped traction in loose sand. And these things were absolutely packed to the gills with weapons. They did not play around. And they were stripped down where they would carry weapons, of course the men, plenty of fuel, plenty of water, and that's about it. And whatever supplies they need. It also would carry these little metal strips that they would use to get through tough parts in the sand, or to help a truck get unmired if it got stuck in the sand. And so we're going to have these kind of vehicles today. Here we see what was called a Vickers K gun. We see another twin mount of Vickers K guns up here. There were a lot of Owen guns left over from World War I on these things. This looks like a Vickers 50 cal, if my sources are correct. There were some American machine guns on there once in a while. And this is going to be important in today's game. One of the trucks, the command truck of B Squadron, under command of Major Easonsmith, carried a captured Italian 20mm automatic cannon. So that's going to be a thing in today's game. So these silk maps that I'm showing here, they weren't really silk. They just kind of had that name. They were printed on more of a rayon material. But what their idea was, this is what a pilot would get. This is what the long-range desert group would get. It was basically a very, very fine fabric that they could print highly detailed maps on instead of paper, so that it wouldn't be vulnerable to the usual problems that paper have to face in the field, like water and too much sun, God knows what else. All right, so that's pretty much the background of today's strike. Again, the two sides are gearing up for a major fight here at El Alamein, and what the British are going to undertake is what was called Operation Agreement. It was a whole range of strikes: SAS, the SIG, that's Special Interrogations Group, the Long Range Desert Group, all these different forces, commando raids up at Tobruk. Every single one of them, including the SAS, was an absolute disaster. The only one that kind of went right was the one that we're going to do today. So here is the map that we're going to use in today's game. It's roughly 20 yards to the hex, although, who knows? It's close enough. And yeah, there it is. Not too bad of a setup there. It's a raid to take out Axis airfields. It's a nighttime raid. The SAS are going to storm this by complete surprise from any direction they want. They're here to hit these planes and destroy as many of these planes as they can on the airfield. There are some Italians, however, that are ready to defend these aircraft. And yeah, we're going to see what happens. So, real quick to our units. It's a typical garrison force, so as far as the Italians go, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Technically, there's elements of 10th Light Tank Company, the 8th section of the Black Shirts. That was sort of like, I guess, the Italians' attempt at an SS, Waffen SS. It didn't really work. Excuse me. Carabinieri, if I'm even coming close to saying that right. Basically, the Royal Carbineers. These are basically Italian military police or light infantry. Historically, they did have some Auto Blinda 41s there, a couple CV-33 tankettes, of course some trucks, and a little bit of a flag position, because you always have to put air defense around your airfields. We have Italian infantry squads. All right, so Gaz, if you're new to Valor and Victory, there's two basic kinds of infantry.
Yep.
There's a half squad with one figure on it, in these numbers, and a full squad. It's got two figures on it and increased numbers.
Cool.
The first number is the firepower. The second number is the range. The third number is what they call casualty points. It's pretty much how much damage the unit can take.
Sweet.
These are the officers. The negative number looks like a penalty because it's a negative number. It's actually a bonus. So that's the degree by which that leader can reduce the difficulty for a given task for any units with which he's stacked.
Cool.
We got these look like weird grenades, but these were actually the grenades that I found in a little bit of research for this scenario. Apparently they called them Red Devils. For some reason the Italians painted some of their grenades red. So that's what we got. Not a terribly big game. And we have B Squadron of the Long Range Desert Group, or at least what's left of them, because they did lose some guys along the way. We have Major Easonsmith there. He was the historical commander. And then we have one of his two patrol leaders. There's another one here that is not present because his truck flipped over on the way here. He was wounded. I think he broke some bones or something like that, and they had to evacuate him halfway through the mission. So he didn't actually hit the airfield. That is the commander of G Troop. So it's taken over by Sergeant Jack Dennis here. He was the historical leader when the mission actually took place. These other guys are corporals and sergeants who either won military crosses or military medals on the day. So we're actually pretty historical as far as the leaders go. All right. So how vehicles work. Okay. Vehicles. All right. The A is the armor penetration class. Only one weapon on this table, well, only one weapon in the British force even has any kind of armor penetrating weapon. That's a 20mm cannon. So it has A, which is the lowest one. Like a Tiger gets an E. Of course, there's no Tigers here. This is a light infantry battle at the most, more of a skirmish, really.
Yep.
Anything in a white circle has a 360-degree fire arc. So notice that this A and that 3, that does not, that gun is bolted to the back of the truck. You actually have to have your ass pointing at the target to have that gun fire at anybody. However, the 6 in the white circle are all these little pencil-mounted Vickers K and Lewis guns that can, of course, 360 degrees in any direction. So these numbers are anti-infantry attacks. The big letters are anti-armor attacks. You can destroy armored targets because there are quite a few. All those auto blindas and the CV-33s, they're on the table. They can be destroyed with assaults. You've got some grenades. You've got some satchel charges for that. So it's a small scenario, but it does have some special rules. So the Italians set up first. I've already got them set up. No vehicles can set up on the runway. Once the game starts, they can use the runway if they want, but they can't set up on the runway because it's a runway. The LRDG moves first. They can enter the table from any side on turn 1. We do have some night fighting rules, at least until the first Italian truck is destroyed. So when the Italian truck... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nice, yeah, that's cool.
Historically, one of the first things to go was an Italian fuel truck. So once the Italian truck goes up, we lift the night fighting rules, historically. There's no Italian opportunity fire or defensive fire allowed on turn 1. So the LRDG basically gets to run up on them, in the darkness and get a complete surprise. The only way that rule is lifted on turn 1 is if the British happen to move within 1 hex of an Italian infantry unit. If you roll right up next to me, or right up to it, if the British roll right up next to the Italians do know there's a war on. When somebody moves within 5 feet of them in the darkness, they'd be like, hey, what's the counter sign? You don't know the counter sign. I say that like it's true, but historically, how the LRDG got this close to this airfield, they had this little column of vehicles. They were driving down this road to get to the airfield, and they passed a column of these light tanks, which are not here because it's stupid. These these CV-33s, and they literally waved to them, and the Italians waved back because they assumed they were friendlies. I don't know if anyone in the British column or the Commonwealth column understood Italian or spoke Italian. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, they literally went right past them. So yeah, long story short, take your 10th shot. They get some pretty serious surprise on turn 1. Of course, once the shooting starts, those rules are lifted. We've got some special rules, or really just clarifications to existing rules, how vehicles work and how their crews work in passenger carrying capacity. Some special rules about how aircraft work. It's all written down here if anyone's super interested. Again, this was originally going to be a solo game, so I kind of went crazy on the special rules. And then we got some victory conditions. So historically, I think the LRDG lost 2 vehicles and 4 men in this raid, and they pretty much tabled the Italians. So the Italians are going to get really badly shot up on turn 1, and then they're up against an elite force, and they're not elite themselves. So the Italians are definitely going to be on the back foot. However, the victory conditions are heavily weighted in favor of the Italians. Basically, if you lose like 2 units and 2 trucks, you've almost certainly lost as the British. Or again, the Commonwealth, I should say.
Cool.
So, the Italians are now set up. We probably bored our audience to death with all that ramp up. All right, so
Cruel
did you want to...
yourself, Jim. You're too cruel to yourself.
Somebody has to be. So the Italians are set up. I can either play the Italians, or I can play the long-range desert group. It's up to you.
I'll stick with what I normally do, which is not play the British.
Okay, cool.
So I'll have to go with the Italians.
All right. I apologize in advance for turn 1. Turn 1 is going to be a slaughter.
It's fine. I've got the KY jelly. I'm ready.
All right.
So.
After that, again, if you knock out like 2 trucks or so, the victory conditions are pretty heavily balanced in favor of the Italians. But turn 1, it's going to be rough. All right. Bite the pillow and think of England. All right.
That's what we do best.
Here we go. Okay, so like I said, the long-range desert group can approach from any angle, and no opportunity fire or defensive fire is allowed for the Italians, only on turn 1. So I got to make the most of my surprise while I have it. So, all right, here I go with my first Chevy. You can enter from any table edge. So they're in that truck. Unless I move adjacent to an enemy. All right, so he's got his lights turned off, and he's just kind of slowly cruising up the runway here. He's not carrying anybody, though. My guys are coming in from off the table.
Nice.
So they're just going to creep forward, moving at the speed of death. I'm Badass McGee, and I say things like that. All right, so again, the movement rate. Movement rate for vehicles is in the lower corner here, so the auto blend has a 12, so on and so forth. Everyone will notice there is no movement rate for infantry. Infantry always moves at the same speed. The infantry movement rate is 4, unless you have a leader with you when it goes to 6.
Okay.
And it's double to move, or it's like an extra point to move through brush, to jump over a wall, to move through buildings. There are some other little examples here and there. All right, so first of all, Sergeant Dennis is going to lead a little half squad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's time for an assault, which we will do in the assault phase.
Sounds good.
Now, normally, again, for our audience and also for you, you would not do this. You would literally get to H11. He would open fire with what's called opportunity fire, set up a fire lane because he's got machine guns. And then every hex I walk through, I have to take another 1 to 4 attack. It's scary. You don't just roll up on the enemy like this, especially when he's got machine guns. But this is hopefully surprise, and hopefully my special rules do not screw up the game too much. Stacking limit is 4 infantry units in a hex, or 2 vehicles. I got the map with me. So he came on G13, G12, G11, so on and so forth. The Major himself will be going in there as well. Gonna take out those two anti-Jews first, hopefully. That was the German nickname for the JU-152. Transport plane.
They do look cool.
I'm gonna take those guys under fire, but do it from behind a wall, so that next turn when some counter fire starts coming back at me, I've got at least a little bit of protection.
Ooh, what dice system is being used for this, Jim?
2d6s is most of the rolls. Thanks very much, Jen. Trying to take out some of the heavier stuff. Where are my infantry? Okay, so Major Wilder is there. He's the commander of T Patrol, who did actually make it. That's not what I meant. Go to front. Okay, how am I going to do this? Can I do it without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So it cost me 2 to move through J1 because it's woods. 1, 2, 3, 4. We peek in the window. There's no one there. 5, 6. That's not really what I wanted to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh boy, he needs. I'm gonna give him some reinforcements because he's up against 2 half squads, a light machine gun, and an auto blindo. There's a lot going on there. All right, so he needs some help. So 1 infantry figure in the hex, 2 infantry figures in the hex. He's carrying the Owen gun, so that's 2 so far. Make that 3. Make that 4. So the stack remains legal. Bring to front. If I take losses anywhere, it's probably going to be here. But not on turn 1, and I want to get at least one of these auto blindas out of here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just for historical accuracy. Damn it. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use darkness as long as I can. Is there a way I can assault that without going over the wall? Because that's going to cost me extra points. One, 2, 3, 4. No matter what I do, I'm going to go over a wall. That's going to cost me 2 casualty points, even if the assault is successful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm going to go over the wall. All right, hopefully I'll get away with that, but that's going to be tough. And I think that's most of my guys. Let me just move some vehicles around. These 2 vehicles have to go still. So you can't move and shoot in this game. That's a little like Panzer Leader in some ways. So I have to think a little bit about where I'm going to need fire support on turn. Well, basically, also not only turn 2, but battalion turn 1.
Yep.
Where was the commander's vehicle? I lost track of where I put him. Okay, See, that's like totally wrong. He has to be pointing the other way. I have to have my, so it's basically the usual arc system for arc of fire. That gun does not pivot. The guy has to aim the truck there. So, but it's kind of reversed because it's in Corti. I have to it's bolted hanging off the back of the truck.
A quick amber turn, yeah.
Yeah, so I got he kind of goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it does cost him some points to turn around. Valor Victory does have rules for that, although again he's got 12 movement points. He's got no issues there. All right, so that's it for my movement. All right, now normally I'd be taking all kinds of opportunity fire here. Gaz would be having an absolute feast of bone and blood, because I mean I'm literally just strolling down an open runway. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo, hi guys, don't mind us, and then opening fire. You don't do this in real life. Or in most situations. Hopefully I'm going to get away with it today. Let's find out. So, the normal turn sequence, for those in our audience, is a command phase, a fire phase. Well, there was no fire phase, nobody was on the movement, nobody was on the board, we just finished movement phase. The Italians don't get the normal defensive fire phase or opportunity fire phase because, again, there's still they don't know there's a fight going on. And we go straight to the advance and assault phase. So here we go. Mr. Piotr has joined us just in time. Hello, Piotr. How you doing? I can see the stubbles advance. He's making fun of my counters because my counters have a little bit of stubble on them. He's like,
well, one guy had a full beard to begin with as well, so.
Yeah, all my leaders do.
Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia looks particularly good in this game, I must admit.
It's how they dress. I don't know if they used that as a reference or. Not only the LRDG but also the SAS. We're both kind of like this. All right, so let's not make Gaz wait too much because this is gonna get kind of rough. Before I settle on my assault, let me switch some of my movement here real fast. Normally this is not a cool thing to do, but again, there was no opportunity fire anyway. Bring to front. Okay. This is the kind of mission that, I definitely appreciate Gaz coming out, especially on such short notice, but this is usually the kind of game where it's like, you set up clay pigeons in form of the Italians, and then you just see if you can crack the puzzle, so to speak, in a solitaire setting. But let's see what's going on here. All right, so we're going to start my assault. So I'm just going to work my way from left to right. Lawson, all right, he is going to start an assault. And I realize now I can't really, I can, it's legal, but it's a bad idea for me to assault both of these aircraft on one turn. Because it wouldn't work. So I'm just going to settle on one. So an unarmored and unarmed vehicle, these are basically considered unarmored vehicles, basically a defenseless target when it's getting assaulted, just so that the math works, because it's a division problem, is given a default defense of 2. Okay. Otherwise, because again, it's a division problem, it would literally be mathematically impossible to assault an unarmored target. So it's going to be 1 plus 3 plus 2. I'm going in there with the Owen gun. It's a grand total of, 6 to 2 is 3 to 1. I get to subtract 1 from my die roll. This is a game where the lower die roll is always better. So a lower die roll is what we're going for here. Road signs with crossbones. Says bad. We're about to start putting some crossbones on here. So it's 3 to 1 minus 1. What does that look like?
What, we're putting minefields on, Jim, was that?
3 to 1. You know what? You kid. I think there is a minefield counter in this game. I think it has a skull and crossbones on it. I don't have any of them here, but they do exist.
Yeah, it just made me think of the old skull and crossbones you see on the edge of minefields.
Yeah, a little skull and crossbones. Meinen, Achtung, a little exclamation point on there. Alright, so it's 3 to 1 minus 1 for the die roll. So that is basically I have to not roll I have to roll a 10 or down. Alright, so Mr. Camera's up. Here we go with the first shot of the game. I roll a 5, that's a successful assault.
Nice.
And that is, believe it or not, 1 casualty point. Because there was 1 enemy unit technically in that hex.
Oh, yeah.
So this is me trying to figure out whether or not I screwed this game up, but we'll see.
Attrition is a thing.
Here we go. Especially if he fails to rally. If he remains pinned down with so much Italian infantry running around. Now he's got a lot of guys with a lot of machine guns to give him cover fire, but at the same time, yeah, not so much. All right, so he's destroyed, and that assault's gone in. All right, now I'm going to try and take out this tank. This tank does have a defense. Tanks get to use their machine guns in defense. He has a 4 machine gun attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 9, and 11. 11 versus 4 is only 2 to 1. I do get to subtract 2 because actual Major Easonsmith is there. These are not cumulative. I get to pick which one. Basically, one guy gets to lead the assault. So I'll pick the best one. Put him on top just to be cool. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I don't know how to count. Yeah, it's 10 versus 4. It's still 2 to 1. Subtract 2 from the die roll. It's basically another 10. You know what? I don't like that tank. I'm gonna throw in one of my limited number of grenades. So what the grenades do is in an assault, it allows you. It doesn't add any combat power. It allows you to subtract 1 from your die roll. So now it's 10 to 4. All my attack factors versus the tankette really. Defense factor. Grand total of 2 to 1. Get to subtract 3 from the die roll on 2 to 1. By the way, if anyone's wondering how small and pathetic these CV-33s are, there's a picture in the pre-war. I think the Italians were mixed up in a war in what is today Ethiopia. Back then, I think they called it Abyssinia, where the crew got chased off of one of those things, or the gun jammed, or something happened, and literally a squad of 8 Ethiopians run up to this thing. They line up along one side, lift with your knees, not with your back, and they flip this thing over by hand on its back like a turtle. That's how kind of cheesy these little things are. But for now, it is 2 to 1. Subtract 3 from the die roll, so it's an 11 or less. I'm trying to hedge my bets here. Also, the way I roll dice sometimes. Alright, he's wrecked. That is 1 enemy unit in the hex. 1 enemy unit will be, or therefore I have to take 1 casualty point. He's pinned.
I know you love your smoke markers as well, Jim. You've missed your smoke markers.
Hey, that's how you know there's been a battle. I gotta have flames and smoke. Alright, so other assaults. Alright, Auto Blinda. These are probably the most dangerous Italian units. I might end up using a satchel charge on this. Or I'll use, you know what, I'll probably spend it on this one. That's the scary one. 1, he's got a total of, okay. Now he's got, Auto Blindas are weird. He's got a turret, clearly. In that turret is a 20mm automatic cannon. It's not really made to take on infantry. It's got an A class, so it'll take care of a vehicle with absolutely no problem. And for infantry, it gets to attack at a 3. It's a 360-degree weapon, so it does get to attack. Or defend, I should say. The 3 is a fixed mount in the front. It's got a front-mounted gun, and the 2 is in the back. It's got a back-mounted gun. So long story short, it gets 5 points. Okay. Versus my 1... Oh, I didn't do this assault well at all. 1,
no.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus... That's 1 to 1. That's not good at all. And that's not one of my... He has to subtract 0 from the die roll. Might be time for a satchel charge. I only got 2 of them. I think now's time to use one. Because even if I throw in 1 grenade, that's only 1 to 1. Subtract 1 from the die roll with a regular grenade. That only gives me 7 to 1. Or, 7 or down. That's literally.
Does the wall make a difference at all?
No, because I'm I am attacking across the wall.
Yes,
it will make a difference. Yeah. Okay, it makes a difference in the casualties I take.
Casualties, yeah.
Yep. It does.
Put a lot better to absorb all
which
those
means
guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could have gone through P8, but I've already done the assault, so I'm not going to be cheesy. This is why Tippett's a -0 leader, folks. Hey, noob. If there's a way to attack the enemy without going over his fortifications, you may want to think about Oh my
Maybe they
God.
just crept up using the wall as cover and then realised they should have gone through the back door instead, that's all.
Yeah, Tippett's. I mean, I don't think Tippett was an officer. I think he was like either a sergeant or even a corporal. But hey, what are you gonna do? He's going for that military medal. He wants to look brave in the after action report. All right, so I get to add 16 to my attack. It's one gigantic bomb. I only have 2 of them. I was hoping to save them for aircraft. But this auto blinda, guys, if it sounds like I'm being paranoid about them, it's an armor-piercing weapon. It's only an A, but it's still armor-piercing. All he has to do is hit any of my vehicles, vehicle destroyed. No roll. As long as he hits, because it's an unarmored vehicle. None of my Chevrolets or Jeeps are carrying any armor, clearly. They're not, basically they're not light tanks. So anything that gets hit with an A is automatically destroyed, vehicle-wise. So I've got to, I want to make sure these guys are at least pinned down, if not destroyed. All right, so now I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 22 versus 5. That's a little bit better. 22 versus 5. I don't even know what that is. That's 4 to 1. Subtracting nothing from the die roll, 10 or less. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Auto blend is toast. Now, that is 1 enemy unit in the hex. I have to take 1 casualty point for that. And I had to pay an extra one for going over the wall. So great question, Gaz. Basically, I have to take 2 casualty points in here. Casualty point is the 3rd number. If I eliminate that unit, that's worth 3 casualty points. I'm overpaying a little, but one way or another, you have to settle the bill. This is one of the great things I love about Valor and Victory. Or you can say, you know what? I am going to pin down both units. So I have to pay 2 casualty points. 1 is Tippett, and 1 is the half squad that's with him. And the satchel charge is used up. Now, this allows you as the player to sort of be your commander. If you're getting attacked or overrun, do you allow you guys to take cover in the bottom of the fighting holes? They're pinned down. That just means they're going to get bayoneted in the back. Because when you get assaulted and you're pinned down, that's not good. That's like automatic insta-kill. Basically, you get taken prisoner right off the bat. Or you can be, it allows you, especially if you're moving across open terrain, like say that the surprise rules were not in effect, and I was running up on that auto blinda. We can't shoot through those planes, by the way. Let's say I was running this way, and that 20 millimeter wanted to get cute, and I take fire. I'd be like, okay, I took a casualty point. Do I kill a unit and say keep moving forward, Dick Winter style at the Battle of Foy, or do I allow the whole platoon to get pinned and save a casualty, but now the attack stalls? There's going to be situations where one is the right answer or the other is the right answer, and the game sort of challenges the player to know the difference. All right, so that's done. I think that's just about all of them, except for this big one up here and this little one down here. Oh man, this game was going to be easy. All of a sudden I'm getting nervous.
Well, there's no long lines of redcoats to form on this one, Jim. I think you're safe.
One. Yeah, do I want to assault both directions? That's risky.
And remember, that wasn't planned. It's just the Brits are good at queuing. I just happened to queue in a convenient direction.
It's, you know what though? It was good use of historic tactics, and the game. I mean, I borrow heavily when I design that game, but most good games are going to reward the player for using the tactics that were prevalent at the time. And yeah, it's just volume of fire. There's morale benefits in that game, but that's a little off topic. But yeah, I remember what game you're talking about. That reminds me, we got to get some Battlefield Revolution going again these days. Or Battlefield Rebellion, actually. I wanted to make the game neutral as far as bias goes. So I didn't call it Revolution, I called it Rebellion. Because those 2 words have a different connotation. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Versus 5 and 2 is 7. Would you believe I'm at 1 to 1? That is horrible. 1 to 1 minus 2. You can throw in 1 grenade per infantry unit in there, although I have a limited number of grenades. I'm going to try and save that satchel charge. Alright, auto blend. Hopefully, guys, this attack will succeed and I'll take out all 3 armored vehicles. So, there are 4 infantry counters in that hex. I can throw up to 4 grenades if I had 4 grenades left, which I don't. But I'm just going to use up 2 of my remaining 3 grenades. Now it is 1-to-1 -2 for grenades, -2 for Wilder, 1-to-1 -4. I need a 10 or less. Oh, that was close. Oh, that was close. 2 infantry units in the hex, or 2 units in the hex. So I have to take 2 casualty points. Man, oh, plane's not destroyed yet there, dummy.
Oh, I thought it was taking off. I thought I'd saved one.
Its wings clip the other way. It crashes in a panic. Both planes catch fire.
2-for-1 deal. It becomes a 3-for-1 deal.
Hey, that's 6 victory points. I'll take it. Alright, so I gotta take 2 casualty points. I'm gonna pin the officer. That's a little redundant. And I'm gonna pin one of the half squads. Unfortunately, his support weapon is pinned with him. I'm saving Wilder. Wilder has to rally these fools.
Wow.
Because he's right next to multiple units of Italian. Yeah. You're going to assault him on your turn. I better, or at least shoot at him. I've got to. What's the word? I got to rally at least one of them. I'm taking a hell of a risk there. All right, over here I have to assault over this wall, unfortunately. There's a total of 4 points in there. I don't have 8. Why am I doing this? I got too crazy. I'm trying to attack in too many directions at once. 1, 2, 3, 6 versus 4. That's only 1-to-1 odds. Oh my god. Alright guys, if I lose the game, I'm not spending a satchel charge on that. I'm gonna throw my last grenade in. This is terrible. I need a 7 or less. 1-to-1, subtract 1 from the die roll. That's 7 or less, right? 1-to-1 is normally 6 or less. Yeah, I gotta roll 7 or less. 50-50, even money.
Come on, Jim. Let's see those traditional Jim dice rolls.
I rolled an 8, I failed.
Yes, there it is.
I failed. Okay, failed assault equals casualty points equal number of infantry units in the hex plus terrain plus the amount by which you whiffed the roll. So I whiffed the roll by 1. There's 1 infantry unit in the hex, and there's 1 for the wall. So I took 3 casualty points. If I pin both units, of course the light machine gun does not count. If I pin both units, that's still only 2 casualty points. That does not settle the bill. I'm going to go ahead and knock out half a squad. First casualty.
Well, I didn't pull the trigger yet.
Casualty point. Well, technically, these guys were shooting back.
Yeah,
they get to defend themselves from assault. However, to repel a failed assault requires 1 point per, 1 casualty point per infantry unit that was in the assault. That's 1. That's 2. There's only 2 casualty points there. Believe it or not, he's still destroyed anyway. But so we kind of destroyed each other. I do not get to occupy the hex because it was a failed assault. And I just realized I should be keeping track of. I knocked out 1 half squad in there, so I'm just going to double that to kind of keep score. Alright, and that is, sadly, it for the turn. So one aircraft is down. Okay, now I have to try to rally some people. Alright. Oh boy, Mr. Wilder. Elite units. Okay, so the way you rally, you have to roll 2 dice. You have to get a 6 or less, so the odds are against you. Elite units, so units with the E in them, get to go up to 7 or less. And with the leader, he gets to apply his leadership bonus. So these guys are looking for a 9 or less. Shit, didn't have the camera on. That's a 7. Sorry, that's the infantry unit, and now the officer. The officer also rallies.
Ooh,
all right, cool. So that whole stack does rally. That's good news. Because, yeah, things are about to get a little nasty in there. All right, cool. And I have some other pinned units. Same roll on this guy. Turn the camera on. 6 becomes a 7, becomes a 9. an 8. He also rallies.
Skin of your teeth there, Jim. Testing yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about him because the only guys that can really reach him have to run through a lot of machine gun fire. However, that stack up there had me a little concerned. Oh, and this one here. Okay, these guys do not have a leader. So they have a leader, but he's also pinned with them. A pinned leader does not get to apply his bonus. Also, this clown doesn't have a bonus. So, okay, so let's see if Tippett rallies. 7. Come on, get in focus, camera. All right, 7 or less. Tippett does succeed on a 6.
Ooh, nice.
And
Just by 1 every time. Just with just enough coordination.
Half squad. Dude, long-range desert group.
Gotta love him. Elite.
Don't tell a bunch of, crazy Kiwis and Rhodesians. You tell them to rally. They're going to be like, watch this roll, Buttercup. What do you think of that? All right, that concludes... Oh, I never rolled this guy. Damn.
They're just after the rations from the cookhouse, that's all.
Okay, so it's 7, and it becomes a... 7, it becomes an 8 because there's a unpinned officer in there with a -1. So it's an 8 or less on that last half squad. Sweet, and everyone rallies. That's what I like to see. Alright, cool. And now, Commonwealth turn 1 is complete. We go to Italian turn 1. Surprise has been lifted. The Italians do actually know there's a battle on at the moment. So good to go there. Oh wow, let me check out the chat here. Okay, give me a second to catch up on the chat here. So Ben asks, when we first got into Desert Leader, did you do this scenario or one just like it in Panzer Leader? Yes, we did do this in Panzer Leader. It technically worked in Panzer Leader, but it wasn't fun. This battle is definitely better for Valor and Victory. Also, it's mostly an infantry engagement. So that's why we did that. Jen adds, don't make it feel bad. Don't make it feel bad about itself. It's not its fault. It's just ridiculous. The question is, will it disassemble itself as it trundles about? Oh, we're talking about the the M13 battle tank. So, yeah, one of Jen's favorite guys, Gaz, you may know this guy, or know of him, is David Fletcher, Dr. David Fletcher at the Bovington Tank Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Jen calls him Tank Muppet because Jen. He says he looks like a Muppet. He's got a funny thing he says about the M13. I mean, we all make fun of tanks that are riveted together instead of being welded together. The M13 was actually bolted together, never mind rivets. And his famous line is, all this thing would need is one hit from a high explosive shell, and it would literally disassemble itself before your eyes. So everyone likes to make fun of Italian tanks. Oh, she's talking about me making fun of the CV-33. Wow, I gotta catch up
I think
on
so,
that.
yeah.
That's like 20 minutes ago. Jim blew up my blender. Oh no, what did I do with your... Jim is a bad person when he's playing the Brits. Oh, come on now. Piotr, last time I played the British in the desert, you handed me my ass. That wasn't even like close. That was a pretty solid victory on your part. He finds his inner Brit. Sometimes. TJ has joined us. Hello, TJ. Love this map. Thanks very much, TJ. I appreciate the kind words. Jim has done a really nice setup. Thanks, guys, very much. Beware the Italian revenge. Yeah, here it comes. They have a horse head. Oh no. Yep, it's time for Italian revenge. Now that I've blown up one of your, actually a German plane, and all 3 of your armored vehicles, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
took out a support weapon team and infantry.
Yeah, the worst thing that's left is that flak battery. That flak gun's left.
Yeah.
Not too happy about that. I might lose a vehicle here. So, cool. We're more or less caught up on chat. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming out. Again, apologize for the little bit of awkwardness at the beginning. We didn't expect this to be a live game, but hey, nobody logs in to watch me play with myself. He said play with himself. So again, Gaz, thanks very much for joining in at the last minute.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, so the first thing in your turn is command phase. So command phase is where all your units automatically rally, and where you rearrange things in a hex if you want. This game is so small, I doubt you want to, but just in case. Things you can do is you can switch support weapons. If you have multiple infantry units in a hex and one guy's carrying like a Breda M1930, and I say, no, I want this guy to carry it. You switch things around. You call in off-board strike missions if you have any. Neither of us have any in this. You can either combine half squads into full squads or take full squads and divide them into half squads. You do have 1, 2, 3 full squads if you want to divide them into half squads. Now would be the time to do it.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Keep them combined.
Everyone that got hit is eliminated, but if you had anybody who was pinned, they automatically rally in the command phase.
Yeah.
So that's what happens in the command phase. Then we go to the direct fire phase, which, you know, is when anyone who has line of sight on somebody starts to shoot. So, not so happy about that. No Italian fuel trucks are on fire yet, so we are still using darkness rules.
Okay.
Darkness rules mean that taking direct fire at me and not adjacent, there's automatically a +1 penalty, and range is reduced to 4 inches.
Okay.
Or 4 hexes, I should say.
4 hex, yep.
And actually, yeah. There's enough fires going around. I mean, strict darkness rules. I have to be adjacent to a source of illumination, and nobody has flares. So we'll just say that the fires are giving enough of a, yeah. So you're able to shoot at anybody within 4 hexes only, regardless of what your range really is.
Yeah.
And it's a +1 penalty if you're not adjacent.
Okay. Sounds good.
And again, aircraft do block line of sight. They're considered buildings.
Nice. Well, there's not a whole lot, so
well, I've got a few. I'm not happy about.
I bet. So I think we'll start with the obvious one, which is where you've just rallied your troops. Yeah, just to the right of the anti-aircraft. We'll engage the stack that is.
Okay. The gun does pivot because it is an A within a circle. It's an anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah.
So if anyone's watching this later that's familiar with Valor Victory, they're going to say that what I just did was illegal, because usually artillery's not allowed to do that. It's technically an artillery piece. Realistically, it's a flag. It's a light flag. So clearly, it has to be able to pivot quickly. So yeah. Now I do get benefit of that
wall.
So I get to add 1. So yeah, it's 8 points. You have to add 1 to your die roll. Now this is not an assault. This is an actual direct fire attack. Our first actual direct fire attack of the game.
Yeah, and it's +1 because it's not adjacent.
It's. Oh yes, thank you. That's an additional +1. Darkness rules do technically still apply. Thanks. So it's 2d6. Okay, so how you do it, guys, for anyone who's not familiar, that's your attack strength, whatever the number is. You find where that is in this column here. So here we're on the 5 to 10 row. And then you roll 2 dice. Again, low rolls are better. In this case, you have to add 2 to the die roll, 1 for darkness and 1 for the wall. You're able to shoot through walls, but it's like a low stone wall. I get partial cover. And you add 2 to the result, and however many points is indicated by the die roll, that's the number of casualty points I have to withstand.
Yep. Okay. My roll is a 4.
Okay, a 4 becomes a 6. That is 2 casualty points. Casualty points.
Yeah, lots of options there, Jim.
Yeah, it is. How much fire can I put down? I have no grenades left. I'm trying to see whether I should pin somebody or if I should take a chance and kill someone.
Well, got to think of what the victory conditions are as well.
Yep, the victory conditions are 5 points for every LRDG unit eliminated. I only get 1 point for every Italian unit eliminated.
I like how the first shots may put you in this quandary.
No, it's cool. I gotta make. So normally the answer is just take the casualties, because you're clearly going to get assaulted. this turn. You're already adjacent to me. It'll be the last thing that Italian half squad does, but when you assault a stack that has pinned down units, those pinned down units are automatically eliminated. So you're basically just going to take more. However, between here and there is the defensive fire phase when I get to shoot back. And I can probably break up that assault before it hits me. I just don't know if I should gamble on that. Thompson's there, he's not pinned down. I left those guys out there on their own, man. I kind of figured I was going to take a little bit of damage here. Who else? Can I see here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing's lit up yet. Two casualty points. I'm against my better judgment. I'm going to go ahead and try to keep down my casualties. All right, two casualty points assessed.
Okay.
Let me quickly track this. What? Oh, I do. Okay, good. I was going to say, I know I've got a fire counter in here. Fire counter. That was the 20 millimeter. All right, cool. Oh, and that auto blend is still burning. Sweet. All right. I'll zoom out the map so you can see everything.
The unit in Delta 8, would you say it can see the guys on the airfield just past the JU?
Okay, so we can check very easily. It's never a judgment call. That's one of the things about Hex Encounter Gaming. The rules are clear. We can take a measurement. So center dot to center dot. Oh yeah. Now you will have to pay what's called scraping fire because you're shooting over this wall.
Okay, yeah.
But short
So
answer,
+2
yes.
again.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll engage them.
All right, 3 points. So you're on the very bottom row.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. -0
That's
for
it.
the leader. Yeah, you're on the red row. Add 2 to your result.
Nah, 9.
9 becomes 11. Got away with it that time.
Next up, we'll go southeast to the unit in the building. We'll declare fire on what killed my blender.
Oh, blender! I got it now.
Now you're with me.
I was
It was
like,
you
what
that
is
was
he
calling it a
talking
blender as well.
That's just me not pronouncing it correctly. My pronunciation, especially of foreign languages, I can barely pronounce English. All right, yeah, he's definitely in range.
Yep.
It's going to be 5 points, so you're on the white row. Add 2 to the die roll.
No, 11.
Sweet.
That's the start point.
Ooh, real quick, for everyone in the chat, there are no snipers in this game. So normally in Valor Victory, it depends on the scenario. If you roll double 6s, boxcars, you basically spawn an enemy sniper. The sniper pops up, the enemy player places it, and it ends in tears. It ends in tears every time. But yeah, there were no dedicated snipers in this engagement, so I didn't even put them in the scenario. But before we roll boxcars, and then I tell everybody after the fact. All right, because usually people, when they watch the stream, they see boxcars come up, they're like, "Yeah, sniper!" Everyone gives a cheer. Then I'm going to have to disappoint everybody and say there's no snipers.
Oh, that's fine. I think we'll jump to Hotel 6 and take it back to the center of the battlefield.
Hotel 6, got it.
We'll engage that group moving over the airstrip now that they've put themselves in the open.
Yep, because you can see through vehicles, so no worries. Especially that vehicle. It's like the size.
I was going to say.
The size of your
Freighter.
dad's lawnmower. It's pretty small. All right, so it's 5 points. Subtract 1 for darkness. Sorry, add 1 for darkness. Subtract 1 for your leader. So it's just 5 points.
Okay. This time is a 6.
2 more casualty points. Now, see, these guys, I'm not that worried about pinning them down. Because if he does want to assault me, I would almost welcome it. Worst comes to worst, I can throw my last satchel charge. Also, when you fire, you can't move. So now these guys are pretty much assault proof.
Yep.
Now, when Japanese are spilling into your foxhole with samurai swords and bayonets drawn, there's 10 units and you only killed the first 2. That's a bad time to get pinned down. Here, I'm not so worried about it.
I think that's it for my shooting, Jim, to be honest.
Okay. So these guys, because they're already adjacent, I probably shouldn't be saying this. Because they're already adjacent, normally the rule is you can't move and shoot in the same turn. You don't have to move to assault me, you're already adjacent.
Oh, okay.
So, in my effort to win Sportsman of the Year award, that unit would get to shoot and assault, but only because they're already adjacent.
They start there. Okay, we'll give it a go then.
Alrighty, they don't have to. You don't have to pay for darkness because they're adjacent. I do still get the wall.
Yeah.
So it's 4 points. Add 1 to the die roll.
An 8.
Becomes a 9. Woof.
Skip by. Skip by.
That could have been bad. It still can be bad, to be honest. All right.
I think the rest is going to be movement, to be honest.
Okay. Then we go to your movement, during which I will take, when applicable, opportunity fire, and then at the end of your movement, I take what's called defensive fire, and that's I shoot any unit that hasn't previously fired an opportunity fire.
Sounds good.
So, no unit that has fired
Can
move. At the end of the turn, they get what's called advanced and assault phase. They can move 1 hex.
Yeah. I think I'm going to start with the truck in Golf 5.
Okay. Oh, the truck. All right, cool. What's he
And we're going to move it to Charlie 8.
Charlie 8. So he starts to turn. Basically, as soon as he spends a single movement point, your first spacing is free. After that, I can take opportunity fire on him. I'm right next to him. I don't think I really want to, because it's just a truck. It's not even worth victory points. Alternatively, and Valor Victory does have rules for this. He was originally facing this way. He could back up. It's just double movement points. He throws it into reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So he could.
he could literally
rapidly...
just like. That's how that hole in the wall got there. He like smashed into it.
So you just let just enough air out of his tires to get good traction in reverse. That's all I'm saying.
God damn it, Giuseppe! I told you not to crash into the building.
What was that bump? Don't worry about it. The truck's still moving.
Sergeant Reva's not happy. I don't have enough problems. A plane just blew up out here. I was coming out of my paycheck, and now a truck just crashed into the building. All right, so I'm going to pass an opportunity fire because I'm going to try and put down some. 1, 2, 3, 4. He is in range with literally his pistol, and I'll be shooting over 2 walls. So yeah, not the best shot. Nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and not take opportunity fire.
Okay. I think the guys that are in November 3 are going to just push left 1, so they're at the wall, so to speak.
Sweet. Here's where things are going to get nasty.
Yeah. We'll stay away from that for now because we've got some other outliers.
Well, if I'm going to take opportunity fire, I get bonuses for opportunity fire. But I've got to make the decision now.
This is why I moved a single one first.
Did I already screw up this game? 1, 2, 3. Well, it's 2 to move through a building. So 1, 2. He's got that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna lose this game. Yep, I've already lost the game. By that I mean I didn't design the scenario properly. Either way, it's my fault. Oh well. Holy crap! If I lost this game. Okay, so opportunity fire. Short answer is Maybe I should have shot at that truck just to light up the battlefield.
Yep.
I should have shot at that truck.
You still can. He can still pop his pistol shot off as he reversed away. See if he can hit the fuel.
Away, but, I don't
It wasn't to begin with. In fact, you didn't take the pistol shot with the guy. So go for the glory shot. Come on.
Sergeant Dobson.
Let's see if Dobson just does that.
I don't think I could unless I threw my last satchel charge just to light a bonfire, basically.
He's got his Zippo with him. You know, all he needs is a trickle of fuel reversing back down that road, and he's got a Back to the Future moment.
Yeah, I just got too aggressive with those guys. I was worried about that from the start. Sure enough, I'm going to pay for it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you really went hard into the anti-air and the collected infantry, didn't you?
I was worried about those stupid auto blinders. All right, Wilder, it was nice knowing you. But nevertheless, we will go ahead and... I got to stop delaying the game. I got to make up my mind here because I'm about to get assaulted.
I've still got to roll the dice at the end of the day.
Well, whether or not you roll the dice and the assault succeeds or not, I'm probably going to win the assault.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I might throw in my satchel charge. However, once you declare an assault on this hex, anybody who's pinned is automatically lost.
Yeah.
Before the dice are picked up. That's what's pissing me off. I've kind of made two mistakes here. Oh, lordy.
Roll a dice, Jim. Roll a dice. Make your decision based on the dice gods.
Nope, I'm not going to take it.
Okay. Sure?
Yep. Because there's only one or two ways Bastoni can reach me. Let me recount that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can't reach me through the buildings. He has to go around the buildings.
Yeah.
And when he goes around the buildings, he's going to be in the open. He has to end up adjacent to me, which he can do one of two ways, and that's when Wilder's going to fire and apply his -2 bonus on top of the -2 bonus for opportunity fire point blank. I have a machine gun in there. I'm going to set up a fire lane. Yeah, that's when it's going to happen. Other than that, so if I go down, I at least do the maximum amount of damage.
Okay.
All right, cool. So that is, no opportunity fire there.
Okay.
Continue with your movement.
So back to the southeast, we're going to put the the infantry squad, should I say, into the truck.
Okay. He has to move to do that, so I think that's his movement.
Yeah.
But he's now loaded in the truck.
And then that truck is going to go all the way across to the gap between the two buildings on the other side of the runway.
I'm pretty sure that's all he can do, because the infantry unit had to move. Basically, if the infantry movement moves pedestrian-wise and then the truck moves, the infantry's basically moving twice.
Okay.
So if he started off in the same axis as the truck, then he would be able to do that, because otherwise the infantry movement is moving twice.
That's fine then, so that'll stay there.
Alright.
Let's go next.
The one I'm worried about.
You know what? I'm just going to move in one space through the building, the one you're worried about.
Oh, son of a bitch. That's okay. Now I get defensive fire. I basically, what that just cost me was 2 points of opportunity fire bonus. Because this game, again, for people who are watching the chat, I'm a moving target. I'm actually harder to hit. No, when you're moving, when you're an easier target, because you're up and running. When you're not moving, you're on your belly, taking cover behind stuff, and that's when you get more difficult to hit. All right, so if that concludes your movement,
yep.
No one could see that for opportunity fire. Cool. We're going to go ahead and start off with defensive fire. So any of my units that haven't fired yet now get to shoot. So here we go. We'll start off with the weak stuff. That probably isn't going to do any good. Nevertheless, I'm going to give it a shot. Mr. Webley Revolver here is going to shoot across one wall, shoot across two walls. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1 point, add 2 to the die roll. I'm not holding out too much hope for this one. I have to roll a 4 or less to do anything. Nevertheless, you never know. All I gotta do is pin them down, and I might save those guys. This would be awesome. 4 or less. Come on, give it to me. 6.
Oh.
So 6 becomes an 8, no effect. That's him done. Alright. These 2 trucks are going to open fire. Well, actually, the first thing that's going to happen is this truck is going to fire 1, 2, 3, 4 into it's the mission. I'm going to go ahead and fire into an aircraft. It's an it's the anti-tank weapon. It's like a bazooka or something. It's technically a gun. I have to roll 10 or less. Illumination or night darkness rules now becomes a 9 or less. There's no commander in there. I rolled an 11. He missed the friggin' plane.
Well, these things are not large targets, Jim. So,
The plane is almost half the size of the distance between me and the target, and I still couldn't hit it. I thought you guys were elite, man.
There's a wall in the way. There's the sand blowing in his eyes. There's a sparrow flew across just at the wrong time at night. It was terrible.
Okay. So now I've got a total of 12 points, a Jeep and an LRDG. 12 points firing into there. I have to add 1 for darkness and 1 for the wall. The gun shield does not take effect because you're pointing away from me. So that is 12 points. I'm on the gray row. I have to add 2 to the die roll. Ooh, another bad roll. 11.
It's a great roll, Jim. Perfect roll.
Oh, I know it is.
You're putting yourself down when you shouldn't be.
Especially since I should be shooting at these fools. That's all right. I have a grand total of 6 points in this X because these pinned down guys can't help. 6 points. I'm going to be firing a can of arrows, guys. +2 for your building. Subtract 2 for my officer, so it just stays at 6 points. Be good time for a good roll here. Just saying. Just kind of saying. It'll be a good time to have a decent roll. Good thing there's no snipers on the table.
Well,
my dice rolling sucks, man.
I don't know. You started off quite well with
So yeah, some of my assaults went
bringing your buys,
well.
Unpinning guys and stuff. You smashed that, so maybe it's just balancing out.
You know what? You're right. That is true. You only remember the bad rolls.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. I can't assault these planes right now, so I'm just gonna do a whatchamacallit attack on them. A regular direct fire attack. 16. Oh, I can't actually do that. Okay. You're not allowed to combine fire groups between vehicles and infantry, so.
Okay.
16. I'm just gonna take 16. It's point blank, so I don't have to pay for darkness. So 16 against this guy. If that fails, then this guy will take a shot at him. So I don't get to add the -1 to him either because he's not in the same X. So 16 straight out. It's on the gray row. Get in with the damn dice. I'm changing dice. That is 9 on 16.
Well,
Nothing.
You know how the other guy missed and he was 4 hexes away?
Yeah, this guy is 1 hex away. He still can't hit.
With two Jeeps.
The bumper is basically touching the front propeller and he still can't hit the plane. Come on now. Let's show him how it's done to infantrymen. Lawson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Subtract 1.
It's the plane burning to the right that's ruined their night vision. I think
it's either ruined their night vision or the smoke is blowing in their eyes or something.
Yeah.
All right, so on the white row, I get to subtract 1 from the die roll. There we go. 5 is 3 casualty points. Okay, these planes are unarmored vehicles. They have 5 casualty points. I didn't do 5, so it's not automatically destroyed. Now it makes what's called a survival check, which means on 1d6 I have to roll under the number of casualty points I did to it. So I just did 3. Basically, I need to roll a 3 down now to see if it actually blows up. 5, it does not.
Well, you found all the soft squidgy bits. You just didn't find anything that mattered.
This is starting to get on my nerves. Missed. My so-called elite guys missed.
They could be dehydrated. They have been out in the desert a long time.
Something's wrong. They are not really at 1, 2, 3, 4. I can shoot at the planes. All right, so 6 points, minus 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't quite hit that truck yet. All right, so 6 points, minus 0. Oh, add 1 because I'm not adjacent. So this is a Hail Mary right here. All right, let me see what I got. A 5 becomes the 6 because of darkness. That is 2 casualty points. I now have to roll a 1 or a 2 on a single d6. Another 5. At least we're hitting the planes now. They just don't explode.
I'm sure there's a rule that you can't change dice once the game's started. You know, Jim. I think that's a.
I have the rule book.
Rule
And I have. You just said it unwritten. You just said it unwritten. All right, so I get a -2. I'm about to get assaulted. Can I save these fools? Survey says I might be able to. I might be able to. If I don't mind spending my last
satchel charge.
Well, it's either that or lose an officer and a half squad, and I've already lost a half squad.
Well, it's not really a... Are you sure that's going to be enough to save them?
I don't know. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to have to fire one guy one way and the other half squad the other way and at least pin him down. So it's going to be 5 points. I have to add nothing to the die roll. I have no grenades left. Oof. I have to get hella lucky, is what it means.
I have grenades left though, don't I, Jim?
Yeah, and that comes in during the assault, which I'm trying to break up and make sure it doesn't happen.
Just thought I'd ask, yeah.
No, you get the same amount of grenades I do. You don't have any satchel charges.
I get lovely red ones as well.
Those red devils.
The chat's definitely lively today.
Oh my God! Go for it, Jim. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not catching up with the chat. This is a messed up moment in the game here. All right, so these grenades are spent. All right, Wilder. I'm just gonna go for it. Wilder is gonna shoot into this building by himself. I'm gonna try to pin down this half squad. So four Italians are coming through this building in the dark. There's firelight flashing off the windows. I just saw a bayonet come through one of the windows. He breaks out the pistol. It's 1 point, but it does put me on the row. I only have to get a 6 or less. If I get a 6 or less, I might actually save these guys. Because I have to add 2 for your building, subtract 2 for my my leadership bonus. So it comes out to wash. I need a 6 or less. I only need 1.
Does it still count as 9?
Yeah, but I'm adjacent.
Yeah.
So it's literally a 6 or less.
Literally
get a 6 or less. The odds are against me, but if I pull it off, that's going to be all I got to do is pin them down. And
it's a glory moment. Come on, Jim. For the Brits.
6 exactly on camera.
See? Happy days. It's only because you changed dice, though, I'm just going to say. Because all they've rolled is 2 3s every time, just saying.
Yeah, in fact, if you look at the dice, you'll see they have 3 on all the facings.
Just 3s, just 6 and 6 and 6.
I never get good rolls, I never get bad rolls. They're always like right in the middle. All right, and then the half squad is going to throw that satchel charge over the wall.
Yeah, I bet.
To break that up. That's going to be a total of 16 plus 5 is 21. No penalties. Penalty for the wall. No leadership bonus. So it becomes 20, what did I say, 21? Yeah, 21. I'm on the blue road now. It's a fighter bomber strike. However, I have to add 1 to this roll. That's a 7. That becomes an 8. That is 2 casualty points. There's only 2 casualty points in there. Even if you pin him down, you have to assess another casualty point. Long story short, he's smoked.
Yeah.
All right. That was expensive, and I may regret doing it later, but for now, I have saved my team from assault. I think that's it for my defensive fire. That was pretty damn frustrating. Nevertheless, the one thing that really mattered kind of worked out. That wraps up your turn, because I don't think there's any assaults coming in now. You're not adjacent to me anywhere.
That's correct.
Sweet. We now go to British turn 2, and now I'm upset. Now the British are mad. Or I should say my New Zealanders and Rhodesians, before somebody from New Zealand logs on. They get touchy about this stuff.
Well,
I shouldn't say New Zealander, but people, like, you know who does get? Australians. I can't talk about Guadalcanal. If I forget to mention Kokoda Trail, I get at least 2 or 3 comments. Which is great. It's good to be, proud of what your country did. At the same time, you can't always be talking about Australia. If you listen to war gamers, like 50% of Vietnam was fought by Australia. Alright, so okay, we're beginning turn 2. Beginning of turn 2, command phase. All my pinned units rally. Oh, thank God. And you know what, before I get too deep into turn 2, let me catch up with the chat. Oh my God. I am so far back. Oh my God. Guys, I am so far back on chat. I'm really sorry. Let me catch up really fast. So, beware the Italian revenge. Yeah, it got scary there for a second. I did spend way too much. Oh, sorry. Before I cheese you out, you get to roll 2d6 and try to get a 6 or less to rally that guy.
Okay. A 7.
He does not rally. Because he's not elite and he has no leaders with him. That was your only pinned unit, right?
Yes.
Sweet. Alright, so, so they have a horse head somewhere. If the Italians win, I'm having pizza for dinner. The Italians might... Again, you get... I won't slow down the chat with going through the victory conditions. Basically, he gets points for every plane left at the end of turn 6. He gets points for every vehicle that's not a truck. Trucks never count. Either way, I don't get points for killing them. He doesn't get points for saving them. But I've already wrecked all 3 of his non-truck units, so I don't think there's going to be too much on that front. But all the planes, there's a total of, I think, 7 planes on the table. And I've only destroyed 1 so far. So, and he gets like 5 times the points I get for destroyed units. Because I'm supposed to like half table him on turn 1. And surprise, surprise, I didn't do it. So I may wind up losing this game after all.
I don't know. You've took out, with what you've took out though, this is the stuff that would be the most damage output.
Yeah, the only thing left is that stupid flat gun. I gotta worry about.
Yeah, and you've got plenty in the area to deal with it.
Oh, I mean, this is one of those Gulf War games. I mean,
yeah.
The LRDG is going to win the battle.
Oh, 100%.
No, yes, that's not even an option. It's just whether or not I do things fast enough and with few enough casualties.
Yeah.
All right, so if the Italians win, I'm having pizza for dinner, says Ben. Why wait? I mean, just have pizza anyway. Piotr's taking his pizza out of the oven right now. Dude, that's awesome. So everyone's talking about pizza. Do you have beer to go with the pizza, says TJ. Not this sailor. Maybe Piotr does, though. Not today, sadly. Yeah, we all have to go to work tomorrow. Last thing I drank was hand sanitizer. Turns out I had a problem. Come on now, man. The Italians should have one. Someone needs to... the Italians should have one. Someone needs to have a chance against the stubbles. Piotr, I don't know what you've got, what kind of weird fetish you have about stubble men, but it's getting kind of weird. You may be on the wrong website. I'm just playing with you, Piotr. You know that. You guys are missing the theme, says Jennifer. Italians in the desert wouldn't celebrate with pizza. It would be gelato or Italian ices. See, now I want a Italian ice. Having a single malt but no pizza, that sounds really good, TJ. I might join you in that after the stream, to be honest. Had a scotch day myself. Yeah, there might be some, either, what is it? Tito's vodka or SoCo Black Label. Calling my name after this. Who knows? Oh, cool. People are talking about what they're drinking. Cool. Awesome. Jen says, look at all the poofs. Yeah, Jen likes it when I put smoke on the map. Too many guys in a single hex. No, believe it or not. Because a lot of those counters, TJ, good question, but a lot of those counters are support weapons. So, infantry unit, infantry unit, infantry unit, infantry unit. That's 4. That's the maximum allowed. Support weapons. Support weapons. Support weapons do not count towards stacking limitations. So, good question, but that's the answer. We shall see. Is it taxing? Oh, is it taxing and you missed? Yeah, maybe the pilot's making a break for it. Okay, long-range stormtroopers patrol. You know, I keep saying I'm going to do Star Wars and Valor Victory. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about it. Also, I don't know enough about Star Wars anymore. I mean, I'm so out of date on that stuff. I haven't followed it since 1997. That may be an insult to stormtroopers. Oh, we're talking about how I can't hit anything. Hey, guys, I'm hitting the planes now. I just can't damage them. We've graduated from missing the planes to hitting the planes ineffectually. Only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise. Yeah, except they're not so precise. Poor Jim. This was supposed to be a demo game. He was guaranteed a win. No, nobody wins a demo game. It's a demo game. Now he's up against a Brit playing the Brits. It's all good. All right, guys. So I'm just bullying the poor Italians. I was supposed to be bullying the Italians. Now the Italians are fighting back. I don't appreciate that. All right. So let me finish up my command phase by rallying my guys. I don't really want to do any switches or combinations. So let's get started with some. Oh, let me clean out the map of all these grenades that aren't used. I leave them on there through the turn so that the battle report is still I can track where they were used on the tab. So let me make sure I get them all off. Use up that last satchel charge. Basically, I've used up everything.
Yeah, but then it's the right time, isn't it? Because you're clearing the way to get to the planes.
Make sure I got nothing else on there. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so completed that. Let's do direct fire phase. Who knows? Maybe I'll hit something this time. Where am I already adjacent to the enemy? Because there's where I get free attacks, basically.
Nowhere.
Well, I'm next to some planes.
Oh no, you're next to the guy that came through the building.
Sweet. All right, so we'll start down here. All right. 6 points, -1 to the die roll. Attacking that JU-52.
Yep.
Sweet. There we go. Subtract 1 from the die roll because darkness does not apply. I'm adjacent to it. Becomes a 2 on 6 points. 6 points. A 2 is 6. That is over the 5 cash marker. That's an automatic plane destruction.
I think they were just bracketing it the first time.
That's possible. All right, so he has fired. These planes are not going to fire. I have other plans. Or these planes. I'm sorry. These trucks are not going to fire. I have other plans for them. Okay. These guys. Oh, that grenade is used up. $12 points, +2, shooting into that building. Actually, +3 because it's darkness still. Oh, man. All right, here I go. 12 points, I'm on the gray row. I have to add 3 to the die roll, though. It's another good time for a good roll. 6 becomes 9. I just missed. I was just looking for a pin.
You still got options.
Well, I can always assault, but that sucks. I'm not gonna lie, that's terrible. That Jeep can't fire, this Jeep can. But that Jeep wants to shoot at planes instead. Alright, fire against this. I'm too far away. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put some rounds into that. Oh, I'm too far away to hit that truck.
Yep.
Oh, my god. Stop it with this. I already fired those trucks. And just missed. Another fire phase. Okay, there's some pretty obvious stuff here. Oh god, I forget how many guys are even in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, plus 5 is 7. 12 total points. 12 points. You get no wall bonus, because the wall is not in front of you, it's in front of me. We're shooting straight over the wall.
Yep.
You do have to pay for darkness, because the battlefield's still not illuminated.
Yeah.
So that becomes plus
And
1.
My gun shield towards you.
The gun shield gets to, the gun shield's toward you, so you get to absorb the first casualty point for free.
Yeah.
That's what the gun shield does. And I get to subtract 2 because of Wilder. So it's 12 points, net minus 1, and the first casualty point doesn't count.
Yeah. We've done night as well, haven't we?
Yeah, that's... Yeah, that's why you get that's why you get the plus 1.
That's the plus 1.
Yeah, otherwise I'd get negative 2. So
Straight
negative 2, or it's plus 1 compared against negative 2, net negative 1.
Yeah.
So, gray row, negative 1. Oh, for God's sake with these dice.
Oh, only for a sniper, eh, Jim?
I'm glad there's no sniper. I'm glad I said that beforehand. It'd be bad if I rolled boxcars and then said, guys, just a quick note. There's no snipers in this game.
I'd have 2 Italian snipers that were waiting for you.
People would never let me hear the end of that. I would just eat the sniper at that point. I'd be like, I'm losing the game, and it's not historically accurate, but better that than the ridicule of the community. The community would never let me live that down. Probably deservedly so. Except I don't think I want to do that.
Choices.
I got plans for them. They're actually a lot safer than they look right now. Not that worried about the flak. Sounds crazy, but I have plans within plans. Meanwhile, Mr. Chevrolet is going to take a poke at Mr. Plane here. Will you please hit this stupid thing? Hell no. Come on with these dice. I'm changing dice again.
Oh. It's a fix. I win by default. Keeps changing the dice.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You know why? Because the actual gunner is having a cigarette in the front, and it's his mate that's not used to using it on the back.
Something's wrong, man. There's something going on with that.
Especially that particular JU as well. That's twice he's had a go at it.
All right, I think that's going to be it for my fire.
Ooh.
Oh, this guy hasn't fired yet. Yeah, but I think I want to move him. He's in a bad spot.
Yeah, he's a bit out there, isn't he?
Well, I was afraid of getting hit by. Oh, also he can't. He's too far away.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely not going to shoot him then. Okay, we're going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're going to go to movement. All right, cool, movement. Let's get this over with.
Grab some cover.
Yep, so he kind of, let me actually track that here. So he was here. First one is free. 1, 2. Either way, I'm going to have to get within 4 hexes. So let me not even worry about it. I was trying to avoid opportunity fire, but...
Yeah.
So let me know if you take it, but he's just basically gonna kind of buzz around there?
No, I'm fine with it, Jim.
Okay. So now, no matter what that truck does, I'm lighting them up next turn. Sweet. We got to get some light on this battlefield. He is underneath the counter, so let me make sure to show that. He is not in the truck. He's just occupying the same hex as the truck. All right, these guys are going to use assault move because I know I'm taking some opportunity fire here. Assault move is half your movement, and you get +1 your cover. Basically, it's like a low crouch. One.
Surely I should shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be silly not to.
-1 for darkness, -1 for the wall.
Scraping away.
Yep. Oh, sorry. +1 for darkness, +1 for the wall, -1 for your leader. So net, add 1 to the die roll.
It's a 6.
6 becomes a 7 on the 5. I think I took some losses there.
It's going to be close, isn't it?
Yeah, 1 casualty point.
Nice.
Sweet. Any machine guns in there? Nope. So no opportunity. No. All right, I'm going to go ahead and.
Yep. The same decision as last time. Almost.
I'm gonna, Mr. Jack Dennis. You just got pinned down. Completes movement. Oh, I forgot to add 1 for my assault move.
Oh.
So it's 1 for assault move, 1 for darkness, 1 for the wall, -1 for your leader, add 2.
So I'm on 8, so nothing then.
Sweet, I'll take it. No, it's literally the whole point of assault move. Ugh. I'm gonna pin him down after all. -1 for opportunity fire when they're in the open, which he's in an open hex. Cool. Let me remember all the rules, not just the ones that benefit me. Cool. So now hopefully that assault will go in. Do I want to assault that hex?
I'm going to lose what? 2? 1, 2?
Technically 3.
Oh. Oh yeah, 1 for each and then
1 for each infantry
in.
unit. Yeah. So here is where the game gets a little, like if you take, you're allowed to have 4 infantry units in a hex. If you take that full squad and you divide them in half, it's the same number of guys, but now there's 3 infantry units in there. And some people say, hey, that's kind of cheesy. I mean, why does 8 guys kill? Well, you're dividing your squad into 2 fire teams. You're watching more doors and windows, especially in urban combat. And there's less chance that you're going to get the drop on a squad. With those 8, it's like all 8 are looking a certain direction. So if you go in the side door, you might get away with it. Whereas if there's 2 half squads in there, you're going to take more casualties.
And it probably didn't help that you blew up a vehicle just outside, so they might know you're there.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not like.
Yeah, I know. They're going to be on high alert now.
It's not like we didn't see that coming. He fired and missed. He's actually good where he is. He's already moved. They just moved. Fired and fired. I want to move this Jeep anywhere. At least now I get to shoot at something. We're gonna take a poke at another plane. I was thinking about rushing this truck, but that would move right across this guy and all his riflemen there, so I probably won't do that. Well, I could jump over the wall and go that way, but then I wouldn't reach him.
Yeah.
So we're
In
already
fact, there's a
through.
wall there. Can you reach them? Oh, yeah, you can get next to the wall, can't you?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually make it quite easy. But again, notice I have to use more than half my movement, which means I can't use assault move. It's going to be in the open. You're going to get a -1. Negative +1 for darkness. 5 on +1. Yeah, odds are 50-50 you're going to do at least 1 casualty point.
Yeah.
Which means pinning the half squad and the light support weapon. If I was smarter, I would have had this like planned out ahead of time. During my command phase, I would have switched the Lewis gun to the leader. And then it would have been like one mad guy with a Lewis gun literally just rushing up to his truck. At least then he would have had a shot. But even then, it's only 3-2 on an assault. It's 1-1 odds. Even if I succeed, he's dead. Enemy unit, the units in the truck don't count. Plus the wall is 2 casualty points. That would be the last thing he ever did. So yeah, it's a stupid move. But anyway, just real quick, he's going to go ahead and take a poke at one of those planes super fast. Because it's probably not going to hit anything. 6 points, +1 for darkness. That is a 4.
Nice.
Becomes a 5 on 6 points. That is 3. I now have to roll a 3 under to blow up a plane.
Yeah.
Finally.
It's good to go.
Okay, and I think that is going to be it until the assault phase. But before we do that, we have to go to your, unfortunately for me, defensive fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap, I just realized you get defensive fire between me and the assault phase. God damn it, how do I not know my own game? Or, it's not my game, I ain't designed it, but I should have. That's okay, go ahead, take your poke with your flak. I know what's coming.
Okay. Would you like to tell the people what I'm about to do to start off with?
Pretty sure he's going to fire flak into Wilder's team.
Well, Jim, strangely enough, you're spot on.
There you go. I'm right once in a while. Okay, good news for me, it's a +2 attack.
Yeah.
I get woods, upwards. I get the wall, and I get darkness.
Yeah. A mighty 4.
4 becomes a 6, that's 2 casualty points.
Actually, not rolling too bad tonight. I've had some high ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and pin down 2 units.
Already fired. Good. The
Oh, let me zoom out so you can see the whole map. There you go.
yeah, I think we'll.
These guys have already fired.
So the guys in Delta 8 in the
Yep.
building on the west side, I think they're gonna. They won't do much, but they might have a pop at the jeeps
Okay, cool.
the-
Yes, the ones out in Alpha 8.
on the. Yes, that's the one.
Yep. You, yeah, because Charlie 8 is not a building hex, so yeah, there is line of sight there. And vehicles don't block line of sight, even though planes do. That's a total of 3 points. You have to add 2 to the die roll for my woods. Make that 3 for darkness.
Oh, boxcars. It's a good
Oh,
job we've not got
if only there was a
snipers.
British sniper on the table. All right.
He just unslings it from the back of one of the vehicles and blows the dust off and starts hunting. Yeah, that one was not good. I think we'll go back to the southeast in the building and engage the rear of the infantry that just took out the central plane.
Cool. Just add 1 to darkness. Or add 1 for darkness.
A 4 again, so 5.
Ooh, that's nasty. That's 3 casualty
Yeah, that was a
points.
good one. That.
Yep, that's losses. I can't avoid it at this point. Even if I pin them both, I'll have to kill somebody. So, ooh, that's not good.
And I think that's it. The guys in Up at the north, in the building 2 across, no target. The guys on the back of the truck, no target. So, yeah, I think that's my defensive fire.
All right.
Bring on the assault.
Then we go on to the assault phase. All right, cool. The guys who are pinned are not allowed to assault. The smoke column is getting to be annoying. This auto-blending keeps resurrecting. These guys are going to go ahead and conduct an assault. It's automatic, and they get to occupy.
And, yeah.
Now, I left the officer in there because I want him to be able to rally these guys.
Yeah, so you get the bonus.
Yep. That's my mad strats for that one.
Cunning plan, as Baldric would have said.
See, you say cunning plan, I say mad strats. Because you come from an educated country, I come from America. Okay, other assaults. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Do I even want to do this? No, because it's only 1-to-1, and I have nothing left to go in there with.
Got a bit more trimming to do on that.
Oh my God, yeah, I gotta suppress them better. Well, that was stupid.
I think you got locked onto her.
This is boss battle right here. So the garrison commander versus, yeah. But you know what? He's gonna fall back. With the advance and assault phase, he's gonna fall back. That way I get at least some, I'm not adjacent. That's not good.
Yep.
And I get some wall protection. I'm making a lot of mistakes here. Not gonna lie. I think that's it. That's the only assault phase. All right, cool. Let me try to wrap things up with rallies. So I have a rally here at +2. 9 or less. He does make it. And
nice.
now Wilder. Up there in, what is that, Lima 4?
Yep.
First, the officer. The officer does make it.
Yeah, 9s.
The half squad. The half squad makes it. If one thing Valor Victory will teach you, it is the value of leadership.
Your after action rolls have been good, Jim, to be fair.
Yep. Well, it helps when you're elite troops and you get a +2 bonus.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got really good units. No great skill on my part. Not even. I mean, yeah, my guy rolls aren't horrible, but also, I mean, I get to roll a 7 instead of a 6, and I usually have a really good officer in there. I'm afraid that's now any other. Other action. He's jumping over the wall, so he gets at least some protection. You're not allowed to occupy a burning plane hex. That's in the special rules.
And that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, buildings count as vehicles, so there's already a stacking limitation for even entering a hex. But once the plane's on fire, yeah, not so much. All right, let me clean up the map a little bit, and we'll start. I'll catch up on the chat, and we will start Italian turn 2. 3 planes down, 4 to go. At least I'm doing something. Oh, I've taken too many losses, though. 2 half squads. All right, Italian turn 2. Do you have any pinned units? Survey says no.
Sure you don't want to catch up with the chat?
Yeah. I'm just...
All right, sorry.
So, to get to where you can look at... just consider your...
My next moves.
Your direct fire, and I'll catch up on the chat.
No worries. Yeah, quite lucky that you killed the only pinned unit that I had. I say lucky, maybe not for me.
Yeah. They did not train with a not moving target. That's true. We're used to leading the targets, and when they're not moving, it's like, I keep shooting ahead of them. What's going on? DTs. I know DTs all too well, says Ben. Yeah, this is true. Jen says, more poofs. Yeah, I got 3 out of 7. So he gets 3 points for every plane remaining. I get 3 points for every plane destroyed. So he starts off with 21 victory points. And as the attacker, it's my job to sort of, whittle him down throughout the game. All the pretty planes are burning. Piotr's got to take off. Have fun. Thanks very much, Piotr, for coming by. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Italian turn 2.
Yeah. some interesting decisions to have to make here. Direct fire, there's not actually that much I'm looking to do, I don't think, other than the anti-aircraft gun, which just makes sense. But I'm torn between attacking the infantry and turning to engage the vehicle that came from the north. Both get wall defense, both are the same range away. It's I think to give my officer a chance up in the northeast, I've got to try and engage the infantry again.
Okay.
So we'll have a go at them again.
Okay, 8 points, add 2 to the die roll.
It's a 6 this time.
6 becomes an 8. You got away with it that time.
Well, with a crack. And what's the range of my guys in the south? 5. They can hit that officer that jumped the wall.
Yeah, you can still hit him.
I think we'll have a go at him.
Yep. So it's 5 points. Add 2 to the die roll now. Because
this one's an 8, so it goes up to a 10. So yeah, he just managed to cut away just in time. And I think that's all my direct fire.
All right, we then begin your movement phase.
Yeah. I think the easy option to start with is the truck in the southeast with the troops on board.
Oh yeah.
I think movement 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to take him the left side of the 2 northern plains around to the back of the building, which I think is it R1?
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. There was no 2 facing changes in there. You had to go around the wall, but that's no big deal. I was never within 4 hexes. The buildings are still, or the battlefield's still not illuminated. That's gonna be that.
Yeah. And the troops can get out next turn, can't they?
They can get out now, they just won't be able to move. They can disembark.
Oh, okay, I'll disembark them, please. And put them in support of the officer. And what to do with that truck?
I don't know if I'd worry about it too much. Well, I don't know. It's up to you. He moves.
He's going to get shot. Yeah.
If he doesn't move, it's going to open fire. It's just whether or not I can actually destroy him with 18 points. Sorry, 16 points.
So I'm going to move him down the road, basically, towards the AA. And let you make the decision on whether you want to engage or not.
All right, cool. So he moves into D7. He's eligible for opportunity fire. Boom, here we go. 18 points. I have to add 1 for darkness. It's opportunity fire, and you're in the open. Subtract 1. So it's a grand total of just 16 at a wash. 16 puts me on the gray row. Come on, man. Give me a break. A 7. At least I hit him. All right, so 7 is 2 casualty points. I have to roll a 2 or less to destroy him. This would be nice. Just saying. 4. He's not destroyed. So shot the tail light out. Bullets in the trunk. The rear view mirror gets shot away. But Mr. Giuseppe is still driving down the road. And that's it for those guys. All right, so he's doing the Indiana Jones down the street here. That's 1. And then however far you want to move now.
Yeah, so basically he's going to go all the way down to the AA, which I imagine might trigger again as he pushes up the road.
Yeah, the question is, do I want to?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get some light on the battlefield, so I think I do. -1 for opportunity fire in the open, and -2 for the leader, so it's going to be -3. Was that 12 points we keep adding? Up. 6, 8, no, only 10. 1, 2. Yeah, because he was pinned down before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't want to shoot them all because that's a waste of firepower. After 5 points, it becomes a waste. So I'm just going to shoot these 2 guys to get to the 5 row. -2, -3. So I'm on the 5 to 10 row, subtracting 3. All right, so that's a 7, becomes a 4.
Oof.
4 on 18, on 11, I'm sorry, I'm on the 5 to 10 row. 4 on the 5 to 10 row is a 4. It has 3 casualty points, the truck is automatically destroyed.
That's a pop.
And now we have light on the battlefield, because up with the fuel. I would say everybody within 2 hexes takes damage, but I'm also within 2 hexes, so I'm going to go ahead and not say that.
Strange how that works there. No,
Historically, that was like the first thing that happened. Someone chucked a grenade into a fuel truck, and nobody had problems seeing after that.
The 2 squads in the east building behind the 2 burning planes, they're going to push out 2 hexes to basically the north side of the wall by the troops that just engaged the truck.
Alright, so these 2 guys are going to push...
Foxtrot 7.
Oh, they're going to go to Foxtrot 7. Okay.
Yeah.
1. Okay, when they move into Foxtrot 7, I'm going to have that stack take the rest of their opportunity fire.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Alright, cool. Now, the good news is Easonsmith... I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Easonsmith's already fired, and he can only use that -2 towards one thing.
Yeah.
He already used it. Point blank opportunity fire gives me a +2 anyway. So it would have been +4. However, now it's just going to be obviously just these 3. So 3, 3, and 2. Half squad, light machine gun. 8 points, -2. You have the wall, so make that -3. There's no darkness rules anymore. Plus I'm adjacent, so that doesn't matter anyway. Where was I? It's going to be 8 points, -1. Also, where were you, to be totally fair, where were you moving? What was your destination?
To that square, F7.
First of all, why is there a bush growing in the middle of the building there? F7, okay, so you only were moving 2 hexes. You could have been using assault movement.
Okay.
So that gives you an additional -1. So -1 for the, I should say +1 for the wall, +1 for assault move, balanced against -2 for point blank opportunity fire. It comes out to no modifiers. 8 points, no modifiers.
Go.
7 on 8 points.
Oh.
7. What y'all know about 7? Where are we at there, Buttercup? That is 1 casualty point. Somebody spend.
Yeah, I think we'll take the leader. He's a plus. He's a -0 anyway.
All right. So now that whole stack is fired.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the command infantry squad in the building just to the right of them is going to move into Golf 7. In fact, you know what? He's going to move into Foxtrot 7.
Okay.
So I can give him his leadership.
Cool. Off he goes. He gets that far. We'll say he's also using assault movement.
Yeah.
And that's when these clowns open fire on him.
Yeah, I thought.
Plus these guys open fire on him. All right. The good news is you're not adjacent. You're only in open, so it's only a -1. +1 for the wall. Yeah, it's turned into a proper firefight now. Look at all these fire counters. This battlefield is illuminated by muzzle flashes, if nothing else.
Well, there's now a burning truck there, so now that everybody can see each other,
everybody's
it's
these guys are practically at ground zero as far as that goes.
Yeah.
All right, so these guys are worth a total of 12 points. No leaders in there, so +1, -1. Cool. Everyone's within range, especially for machine guns. So okay. 12 points, no modifiers. Vickers guns, Lewis guns, 50 cals. It's a 7 on 12 points.
That's another one, I think.
7 on 12 points is 2.
2.
I was only on the 8 row before. Alright, so you can either kill the infantry squad, or you can kill half the infantry squad, or pin them both down.
We'll kill half the infantry squad.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Replace it with 1 half squad, and put the other half squad on the bone pile. because keeping track of the change is really difficult. The way I usually do it at the end of the game, I just look at what the initial construction was, subtract what's left, and it's more accurate.
Cool.
But this way, if anyone's keeping track of the score as the game progresses, they can do it as well. All right, so that's him fired. Now these guys are going to go ahead and take a poke. 1, 2, 3. They're down on the 6th row. So here's again about leadership. They're down on the 6th row instead of the 12th row, but there's a -1 leader in there. It's the same kind of attack. So if you're on the 11 to 18 row or the 5 to 10 row and you get to subtract 1 from your die roll, it's kind of the same thing because leadership. There's a good sergeant in there. All right, so it's -1 for my leader, -1 for opportunity fire in the open, +1 for your wall. Net -1. And that just became a 4
That's
on the
brutal.
6.
What's that?
That is
White.
4 to casualty points. I think that's it. Because there's only 3 casualty points in there.
Yeah, Sam gun.
All right. Now they're starting to shoot like the LRDG. Thank you, someone, for turning on the lights. God, one time I was playing, I had the Argentinians against Royal Marine Commandos in the Falklands, and I had one mortar that could drop illumination rounds, and then I rolled somewhere on the table, I rolled a 12, so a sniper appeared, a Royal Marine sniper appeared right behind my mortar team and took out the mortar team. That was it for light. Then the only flares on the table were where Dylan wanted to put them, and we can guess how that battle went from there.
Yeah. And I think that's all my movement.
Cool. All right, then we go to
Defensive fire.
the defensive fire. That's true. Defensive fire before advanced and assault phase. Cool. Defensive fire. I got 8 points here. -0 leader. I'm going to try to take a poke at that machine gun. 8 points. I have to add 1 to the die roll. Gun shield does not apply. So white row, add 1 for the wall. 9. That's nothing. All right. Okay, this might do something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -2. No more darkness. Oh, I gotta take out this stupid flat gun. That's the only real unit he's got left. So that is, what did I just say? We're on the white row, basically. In -2. Okay. Come on, give me a good roll, please. Oh, another boxcar.
Wow. We've had about 5 now, I think. 4 or 5.
I've rolled it. You rolled 1. I've rolled 3.
rolled
So
1,
yeah, we're at least 4 total. These guys don't really have any targets right now. When in doubt, shoot at a plane. 5 points. There we go. 5 points. So that became. Someone just took the Lewis gun out the window and just said, "Hey, engines, how you doing?" Is that a Lewis gun or a Bren gun? It looks like a Lewis gun. Yeah, it's a Lewis gun. That old World War I tech, man. Just. All right, so that there was no penalties, no modifiers for that, so it stays at a 4. 4 is 4 casualty points. Okay, I got to roll a 4 or less. Come on, I got lucky for once. Don't ruin it. 2. That's another plane smoked.
Ouch.
He's already fired. They've already fired. He's already fired. He's already fired. Okay. Hey, 20 millimeter guy. Put down the beer and try to do something. Seriously. There's now light, so you can see. What do I have to roll? I have to roll a 10 or less. Before it was a 9 or less because of darkness. It's a 10 or less, dude. Seriously. Come
Boxcars.
on.
Come on, boxcars.
It wouldn't surprise me. 10 or less. A 9. He almost missed. All right, there's no survival roll because it's an armor-piercing weapon. All right, hopefully the tide has turned now, guys. It's just, did I lose too much?
Nah.
All right, so that is now. There's 10 points just in casualties. So, yeah. Anyway, again, I kind of made this game up last night. Or I should say I made up the scenario. I did not design this design. I'm always specific about that because I did design the modern expansion for this, and I did design Valor and Victory Stalingrad scenarios available on Steam and Slytherin and so on and so forth. The basic Valor and Victory system in World War II is absolutely not mine. That is the saint of wargaming, Barry Doyle. Created one of the best World War II games out there in the last 20 years, and then he gave it away for free. Long story short, because he got tired of trying to convince people to play Advanced Squad Leader. So he made up a simpler version of Advanced Squad Leader, put it out there, and didn't charge anybody. Alright, so I think that's it for my defensive fire. Oh, this stupid Jeep hasn't shot at anybody. And he's kind of run out of planes. Although, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, he's out of range. I'll, for whatever it's worth, take a poke at these guys to pin them down to rescue this infantry guy, or this leader. 4 points. I have to add 2 to the die roll because of buildings, so I have to roll a 4 or less. This is a long shot. Shit, I roll a 4 or less.
Nice.
4 becomes a 6 on the 4 row, so that is 1 casualty point. Someone in that building is pinned.
We'll go for half squad.
There's only a full squad.
Sorry, we'll go for the squad then.
Okay.
So he's the leader to try and bring him back.
The leader has a -0.
Oh, we got the leader then. Can't quite tell from it.
Leaders, if they're -0 leaders, are kind of... the base game doesn't come with leaders. They're -0, so people sometimes ask me, why do I create -0 leaders? They unlock certain abilities, like the 6 movement rate. They can call on fire support missions if available. So yeah, they're almost like partial leaders, but at a -0, they can't confer a lot of other bonuses that leaders get. All right, so that wraps up my defensive fire. We now go to your advance and assault, if any.
Well, I think it's suicide just to put that one squad into that stack, so I don't think there will be.
It would literally only inflict 1 casualty point. I would pin somebody down, and Easonsmith would rally.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
now he can still move 1 hex. Any one of your units, except for the flat gun, can move 1 hex.
Okay, he'll push up towards the northeast for the other building, so just up diagonally.
Oh, northeast, this way.
Yeah.
Cool. So now he's belly crawling like under the muzzles of like 20 guys.
Yeah.
And they don't even want to shoot. They're just like, just give up. Give up.
They're like, where are the planes again? You're looking, they can only see smoking ones currently. They're looking for the other 2.
Okay. Any other advance and assault?
No.
Okay. We can go to your after-action phase. 6 or less to rally this guy.
Okay. No, a 7.
Okay. 6 or less to rally this officer.
A 6. He's up the road.
The corporal rifleman next to him said, "Sir, please stand up."
Yeah. It missed. Get off your ass.
You're not doing any good down there on your belly. Here's a change of underwear. It's only a 30 cal. It's fine. And he's 1, 2, 3, 4. He's like 80 yards away.
And that's that.
All right, cool. Turn 3. All right. Catch up on Mr. Chat. Way to go looking at the silver lining, guys. Okay, silver lining. I got you. All right. Let's go now to wrap this up pretty quick. Command phase. Do I have anything? Not really. All right, so now I'm going to go to direct fire phase. All right, things just got a lot easier now that I can see. No fire there because I got plans for them. No fire here. I think I will fire here. To, who knows, maybe suppress that that gun a little bit. I think when I fail to, I haven't either not hit that gun or failed to knock it out. Have I done like partial points of damage on that before?
Nope.
Okay,
you just
good.
Missed flat out.
That's actually good news because if you do partial amounts of damage on it and then you fail the destruction roll, that means that the unit's pinned down. And if I've just been missing, then that means I haven't made a rules mistake.
Cool.
So I was accidentally correct. All right, now let's see if I can fix that. 12 points. I do have to add 1 for the wall. So
What's their range?
Oh, their range is 8.
Nice.
Because they're
It's
heavy
the one
machine
in the
guns.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah. So what it means in the circle is whether or not it has a
360
degree fire arc.
Yeah.
T1/2 or T1 is the transport class.
Transport
how many
capability.
guys? Yeah. 12 and 14 is the movement rate. It's a jeep and a truck. And then the 3 and the 4 are the casualty points. So machine guns on vehicles, there's a rule for it somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's 8 or less. Because they're like heavier machine guns. And even if they're only 30 cals, they're on some sort of a mount as opposed to a bipod. But it's definitely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's definitely more than 5. All right, so 12 points, add 1, no leaders. Thank you, Burning
Here we
Truck.
go.
Ooh, although I still don't roll very well. I have to add 1 that's a 9 on 12 points. I missed them again.
Well,
that, you know what it is? You know what it is? Seriously, not to make fun of anybody. It's a German flat gun. It's a German 2cm. Maybe it's a German crew, even though they're in Italian service, and that's why they're unshakable.
well, they've realised that with everything else burning around them, getting out from behind the wall is probably the last thing they want to do.
They're basically surrounded at this point.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
They're just cooking their last pasta meal before they get taken.
a gun. Now, guns at 10 hexes or less is so guns have unlimited range, but after 10 hexes, they have to roll against a lower number. So let me see something here. Where's my little pointer? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It has 10 exactly. Okay, so it's a normal rate. I do have to pay 1 for shooting over this wall. I'm not adjacent to it. So it's now a 9 or less. For the gun, the 20mm gun, it is still in my back arc, so to speak. Valor Victory has very generous arcs of fire rules. Sweet, so I need a 9 or less to hit. I missed. That guy is literally on something. He smoked a big old bag of something before the fight. That weird plant they passed in the desert that the sergeant told him not to smoke. Yeah, he smoked it.
I reckon he got through the eye test by memorizing it beforehand. And he pretty much is just pretty much blind. And he's
he just got his night vision sorted out when the fuel truck went up, and now he's blind again.
Directly across from him as well. And all these planes, and the smoke's blowing that way if you look at it. I reckon.
Oh my god. Alright, so other direct fire. Actually, not much. I'm going to be doing some movement this turn. Alright, so that's going to be it for my direct fire. That machine gun is out of range. Machine gun is blocked against the flag battery by the burning plane. These guys are probably going to be doing... You know what? I don't want to assault them. So I'm going to do a partial direct fire. So let's see, 2 plus 3. 4 points, minus 2. You get the wall. So you do get the wall. Let me kind of game this out in my head. So it's going to be plus 1. Actually, can I get to 5? Yes, I do want to get up to 5. So I'll break this up into 2 little. The guy with the Bren gun, the half squad with the Bren gun. That's going to be a total of 6 points. Now I'm on the other row. Plus 1 for the wall, minus 2 for the leader. Becomes 8 or less to score at least 1 casualty point. Of course I miss.
To be fair, if you remember, he is leopard crawling, digging small trenches with his eyelids right now.
Apparently it's working.
Yeah.
Well, I guess all my guys feel sorry for him. Let me not do that so I can keep track of who fired me. Then. All right, and now I'm going to go to my movement phase. All right. Ooh, these guys could have shot. That's okay. I want to shoot at somebody else. But I have to move first. I don't know if this guy wants to shoot at me.
No. I don't think it's worth it.
Alright, so that's that movement complete. I think I will have to assault him. That's horrible.
Yep.
That's going to cost me 2 casualty points. So maybe I won't. Alright, going around the burning plane. Not allowed to burn it. Moving to a burning plane next. Alright, he's going to have to spend 2 points to back up. And then he turns around the wall a little bit. The guy is on top, so he's not in the Jeep. Can't believe I can't knock out that stupid 2-centimeter gun. Is that hex still legal? 1, 2, 3, 4, yes.
Yeah, they came from him, didn't they?
Yeah. Okay. So that's as far as he's going to go. He's going to take his advance and assault phase and move into N2. That denies the other player, pro tip, a little bit of defensive fire or opportunity fire. Basically, rather than run screaming through the building right up to the window and slamming your shoulder into the window frame like they always do in the movies, so the enemy clearly sees where you are, you stop in the previous room and then low crawl into that last room before the window sill. That way the enemy doesn't get that extra shot at you. Valor Victory is one of those games that seems simple, but when you read the rules and you play a few games, you're like, oh, I kind of get why they're doing that.
Or you send the idiot. Just go look out that window, see if there's anybody in that next building.
Well, I mean, sometimes people like to trigger opportunity fire. You know, like,
That's it, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and do this. Oh, look, he went ahead and shot at me. Okay, well, good, because now you just got flanked by 8 of his buddies through the side door. All right, so that's going to wrap up my movement phase. It's a pretty small game. So movement phase is now complete. Over to your defensive fire.
Yeah. Well,
got some.
I've got some, yeah. We'll definitely start with the building in the south, and we'll try and engage that guy again.
Building in the south. Oh, it's going to try and shoot Sergeant Tippett here. All right. Okay, cool.
As you've left him in range.
No penalty for darkness, penalty for wall, so add 1.
Cool. 7.
7. You're on the 5 row. 7. Is that modified 7 or?
That's 7 as a roll.
7 becomes
So
an 8.
plus 1. 8.
Escapes.
Frustrating.
Yeah, I hate that. Don't you? How many times have I shot at that stupid 2-centimeter now? I think it's made of platinum or something. It's just titanium. It just won't.
That wall is just like 8 feet, so you're actually just trying to find it.
You say wall. It's actually a shield from Star Trek: The Next Generation, apparently. It's just defeating all weapons.
Well, I suppose he might as well fire into the building.
Fire into the building. Oh, you're talking about the flat gun?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you fire into the building, you're going to be paying 1 for the wall and 2 for the building, adding 3.
But there's nothing else for him to fire at because of his facing.
Well, he can pivot pretty much at will because he's
okay.
His weapon is traversing.
We'll pivot round and engage the jeeps on the runway then.
Okay. Ooh, I did kind of leave them out there, didn't I?
You may have, now that I know that, and it's armor piercing as well. So.
Yep. All you gotta do is hit. It's 10 or less. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
An 8.
That's a hit.
You got so used to him pointing at the infantry that when the infantry disappeared, the jeep's like, wait a minute. You just left us hanging.
Archibald, you remember that gun can turn, can't you? It can turn. Well, that's his last words.
But boss, it hasn't turned since the lights came on.
Oh no.
So you, as a question, Jim,
Yep.
the guy on his own that's likely potentially to get assaulted, is it worth him firing now, or is it worth me holding it until?
Well, no matter what, you get to defend yourself from assault.
Okay, so I might as well fire now and get the extra potential damage.
Yes.
He'll engage the smaller hex square.
Cool. In all fairness, you can all, because I think this is the first time it's ever happened. Adjacent fire, you can throw in a grenade.
Okay, cool.
And that gives you a -1 on your die roll. So
Right,
you
we'll
get
go
no
for that.
leadership bonus, +1 for the wall, -1 for your grenade. You can throw in 1 grenade per infantry unit. There's only
Per
one
infantry.
there.
Yep.
So it's you're on the red row, no modifiers.
Cool. A 10.
Cool.
So he forgot to pull the pin.
I was just gonna say, yeah, he does his epic low crawl through the sand. He gets to the base of the wall with trembling fingers. He pulls this thing off his H harness or his web gear, whatever the Italians called it, and then he went to just kind of lob it over the wall. And he's like, you hear some laughing from the other side of the wall. What the hell?
What he sees is red smoke. Where he's
I
picked
the
up
wrong
smoke.
grenade. Damn it!
They're all red. It really bugs me that.
It all looks the same in this firelight at night. It kind of messes with your color distinction.
That's it. Other than that, I think fired at the south, fired as they came in. He's fired. Those guys can't see at the top right. Yeah, I think that's my defensive fire.
Okay.
Advance and assault.
On to assault. Spoiler alert. Actually, I started off adjacent. I think I will assault him. The first assault that goes in is this one automatic.
Yeah,
Ooh, I
and
just
that's a
doubled
kill.
everybody. Don't want to do that. All right, so we just basically take that officer prisoner.
Yep.
Now, do I want to? Because you know what he's going to do, guys? He's going to throw in another grenade.
You're right. He might have found the right one this time.
Yep. So that is 1, 2, no, that's 4, sorry. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 2. It's 5 to 1 odds. Add 1 to the die roll, subtract 2 from the die roll. The table stops at 4 to 1. So we'll just use the 4 to 1. It's a net subtract 1 from the die roll. I have to roll an 11 or less for a successful assault.
Come on, boxcars. We've seen it already tonight, Jim.
Oh, the number of boxcars I've rolled, it wouldn't surprise me. Now that's 1 casualty point for 1 infantry unit in the hex and 1 for the wall. I gotta take 2 casualty points. And that was actually 2 grenades used up.
Yeah.
So I gotta take 2 casualty points. So number 1, the redundant officer. And then the half squad that is not carrying a support weapon. And hopefully they will rally at the end of the turn. Cool. I think that was it for advance and assault phase. Oh no, this guy's one level over. Cool. And that was. Yep, that's going to be it for advance and assault phase. Cool. We go to your turn.
Okay.
one's
Nothing
pinned.
to rally in it, so that's all good.
Yep, I guess that's got like literally 3 units left.
How rude! I've got 1, 2.
Oh, I forgot the
4,
flat
5,
gun.
6. I've got like 7.
I'm just counting infantry squads, but I forgot. I did legit forget the flat gun, which is like, yeah, dude, no shit, you forgot the flat gun. That's what this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So for firing, well, it seems rude not to. The flat gun's going to try and engage the second jeep on the runway.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
true. I forgot
it's
to
a-
pull him back. I wouldn't have been able to pull him back. I can only move 1 hex in advance and assault phase. It wouldn't have helped him. I just threw away another 3 points.
So it's another 8. So yeah,
Surprise, surprise.
I will take that opportunity fire and pop that bad boy.
I don't even get to complain because that's just me being dumb. That may have just cost me the game. Go ahead,
The
Lost
infantry in the building will continue to spar with the the Lawrence of Arabia over the wall in the south of the battlefield.
Okay, yep. There's like a little side battle going on over here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Cool. 5 points, add 1.
9.
Sweet.
They're like wanting to stick their head out, but there's 2 jeeps that can bracket them with machine gun fire. So like, just take a pot shot, see if you can get him. It's back to Gallipoli where they had the spade above the trench and they're just shooting at each other's spades, I think.
In Panzer Leader and Valor Victory, that almost always seems to happen. Just this little side battle just kind of spawns off in the corner somewhere. It's like, I lost the main battle, but I want to win this stupid little side skirmish that's happening for no reason.
My remaining officer and the infantry unit with him will engage building to building as well.
Cool. Subtract 1 for your leadership, add 2 for my building. That's going to be a total of 5 points, add 1 to the die roll.
Okay. We have a 4.
4 becomes a 5, 3 casualty points. Oh, man.
That was a good roll.
Can I... Alright, he can't move and assault me. I'm going to get a little ballsy here. 1, 2, 3. The whole stack is spent except for Wilder.
Okay.
Sure, there's something hiding under here. That is a slight risk, but I'm trying to save that. I'm trying to save that stack.
Yeah.
Wilder and his immortals.
And that's the shooting.
All right. We then go to your movement phase.
Yep. Can I move my 2 infantry that got out the truck 4 spaces north side of the building
North side of the building.
to
1,
Oscar 3, please?
2. Oscar 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. You can absolutely do that. That's when we're going to be taking some opportunity fire.
Yeah.
Because if this assault goes in, that's definitely the end of it.
It's my only chance, you know?
Okay, Mr. Wilder, this is literally where he picks up that military cross. -2 leader, point blank opportunity fire, -2. He only gets 1 point, but it's -4. So he's on the red row, -4.
Come on, Jim. See you do it.
It's okay. And if that, there's jeeps and other weapons that might be able to take him out. But for now,
Yeah.
I roll an 8, which is terrible, but an 8 becomes a 4, which is 3 casualty points. There's only 2 casualty points in that X. That's light machine gun over there, the Breda M1930.
Yeah.
That's him smoked.
Well, it was all I could do, really.
Oh, if that had gone in, he
Oh,
would
yeah,
have
that
died in
was-
the assault. That would have been 3 more, 3 times 5. That would have been another 15 victory points.
To be honest, with the jeeps, well, yeah, probably two jeeps with a fire. I don't think they were going to make it, but you got to try, haven't you?
There is something to be said for gaming on a stream. Is it you always do like the super smart tactical chess move or whatever? It does make for a boring stream eventually. So sometimes you just get stupid and you're not stupid, but you get I know I do like a little hyper aggressive.
You just go for it.
It makes for a fun stream if nothing else.
That's it, yeah. I'm going to take the truck and I'm going to park it in front of the what spot's it on? Oscar 7.
Oh, so Tony Bellotti here just try. Hello, he's literally going to try to run me over.
He's going to pip his on as he drives towards you.
This guy's like, what the deuce? Okay, we'll take a shot. We got a grand total of 4. Again, Valor Victory doesn't let you do that. Again, I said he wasn't in the vehicle, so I don't get to add him. It does make a difference between the red and the white rows. So the Jeep is going to fire red, no leadership bonus, -2 for point blank opportunity fire. Now I get a good roll when it doesn't really matter. That was a modified 3. That was 4 casualty points. That's enough to destroy the truck right there.
Yep.
Without a roll. So the way casualty points works, guys,
helps.
For people in the chat, if you exceed the casualty value, the casualty point value for the vehicle, no roll is required. So some vehicles are a lot hardier than others. The planes get a 5. My LRDG Chevy trucks get a 4, and Jeeps and trucks, which are completely unarmored, get a 3. The planes are completely unarmored, but at least they're big. You have to shoot a lot of bullets into them before something happens. All right, that's the Jeep fired, not the officer.
Yep. And that's everything, Jim.
Okay, then we go to my defensive fire, which I don't have that much because all my guys got pinned down.
No, you got a reasonable amount.
Yeah, a little bit.
3 vehicles to go.
Okay, that's a total of 18 against. I guess 18. I have to add 1 to the die roll for your ball. I'm sort of your gun shield covers these 3 hexes. He's just behind that. So it's 16, add 1 to the die roll. And if there's any Valor Victory players who watch this later on stream, you're not allowed to form fire groups between separate vehicles. I always allow out when there's the 2 vehicles are in the same hex, because Valor Victory hates tanks. He set out to create an infantry game, and in some places he may have overcorrected. Anyway, here we go. I got 16, add 1 for the woods. 1 for the wall. Damn, I still can't hit shit. 10, that's nothing for all that discussion. Okay, now this guy was not able to join because he's not in the same hex. So 8, again, add 1 to the roll. White row.
This is it, Jim.
7. Because the wall saved you.
Tell you what, I take that. That has got to be my MVP right there.
That
He's
guy
done some
just
work.
won't die, man.
Like you say, I think that's a German crew on that.
Oh my god. Alright, this guy is going to try and take a poke at that plane. Again, 9 or less.
Yep.
I just got to wrap up these planes, man. Oh!
There we go.
This is kind of what happened. Also, the SAS got really good at this. They tried explosives on planes a few times, but the explosives were found to be less reliable. Sometimes after the SAS pulled out, or the LRDG pulled out, the Italians were able to get to the planes and remove the explosives, because they just didn't go off at the right time, or they didn't go off at all. So it was either Sterling or Easonsmith who kind of made the call that says, look, just machine gun the hell out of those things while they're parked right there. At least you can be sure you know when it blows up. Otherwise, turns out we didn't actually destroy the aircraft. Alright, and that might be it for my defensive fire. I mean, this guy, it's not really worth anything, but it's a free shot, so 1 point, he's going to try and pop somebody through the window with his pistol. Yeah, hell no. I'm not even going to figure out the math on that. No line of sight on anything good. No line. Okay, cool. That's it for my defensive fire. I don't think you have any advance in assault.
Hell no.
Oops. Damn it. I'm just trying to pick up the stupid... There we go. Alright, so it begins my turn 4. We're just about there, folks. Alright, command phase, everything rallies. Because I got lucky. Mr. Wilder literally saved his whole, there's a squad and a half in there. There's, oh no, a full squad and another officer. So yeah, there's 9 guys in there that he saved. All right, so everyone's rallied. We then go to direct fire. Wrap things up super fast. Let's not make suffer. Oh, that plane blocks line of sight. The burning plane blocks line of sight for the good plane, so I can't take him out yet. I can't take out this guy. That Jeep might actually have to move somewhere. I do barely scrape a shot in there. That's almost not even worth it. So no, he'll move. Okay, again, 18, add 1 to the die roll. One of these times I'm going to get lucky. There we go. Okay, add 1 for the wall. That becomes a grand total of 7. On 16, actually. 2 casualty points. The gun shield does not apply. Now I just have to roll a 2 or less. Now, either way, this gun is finally pinned.
Yeah.
So I don't have a pinned marker, so I'll use this assault marker to know that he's
cool.
pinned. All right. Normally, I just, obviously, like I've been doing, you just change the hex.
Doesn't work with something else facing, so does it?
Now, in real Valor and Victory, on an actual cardboard game table, you flip the count, you invert the counter. Or he also produces pin counters. I should probably just make pin counters one of these days. But anyway, 2 or less. It's going to happen. No, it won't.
Well.
But at least now he's pinned. Which means it's time for an assault. All right, cool. All right, now that I know that just happened, he's not going to move. Not going to move. Or not going to fire, not going to fire, not going to fire, not going to fire. They're definitely not going to fire. They're just on fire. He's going to move somewhere else. This guy. How tired is he of taking fire from this stupid building? Oops. First of all. 1, 2, 3. He can do that now because number 1, he's blocked by the planes. Number 2, he's pinned down at this point. Careful of that opportunity fire there, dude. Don't get crazy.
My guys in the building will take opportunity fire at the Jeep.
Okay. So as soon as I move a single hex, you're eligible. You just have to pay 1 for the wall.
No.
These
sorry,
guys up
in
here.
the north. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, 1, 2.
Because it's open ground.
That's true. I just lost another vehicle. 5 points, -3 from the die roll. Damn it, I told you.
That's 7.
Means a 4. 4 casualty points. The Jeep's only worth 3.
Whew.
Why did I do that? I think I lost this game, folks. And what I mean by lost the game, I think I've truly, literally pissed it away. Alright, so, other movement, or have I done enough damage to myself? Yes, some other movement. When that gun is pinned down, I'm really tired of that thing.
Yeah.
One, 2, 3. I don't really need to load it up too because it's already pinned. Alright, these grenades are finally gone.
You just have to make contact, don't you? And that's it.
More or less. I have to declare the assault.
Yeah.
So when a unit is isolated and pinned down, it's pretty much meat on the table. You just have to watch out for other guys nearby. Fortunately, most of that's cleaned out.
They're smoking.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those trucks all fired. For what it's worth. You know what, Dobson's been looking at it long enough. I get to take part of the assault. Okay, fine. I'll let you accept the surrender of that German gunner. Why have I already gone to... I should be firing now. Right? These guys never fired. I moved that. Oh, it doesn't matter. I may have forgotten.
Just fire them now.
Yeah. One. I should have fired them before the Jeep, but that's a rules mistake on my part. I deserve what I get. No, seriously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 points. So we'll get right back to that. But just for the chats, or people watching this later on YouTube, the reason I moved that Jeep up there is I thought I kind of had it in my head that guy was already suppressed. Turns out I was like ahead of myself half a turn. This fire phase is supposed to take place first, before movement. So I was right and wrong at the same time, and it cost me a Jeep. It's a rules mistake on my part, so yeah, I totally deserve it. Or at least pin him down, which means that Jeep would not have taken that opportunity fire.
Yeah, I think with what you've got in that building, you're probably going to kill him.
Well, I get to subtract 2, however I have to add 2. So subtract 2 for my leader, add 2 for your building. You're in a little, stone or mud brick building there. So what I say, 12, and it's a wash. I'll probably at least pin down somebody.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Especially with that roll.
Yeah,
5.
that's it.
There you go.
Gone.
5.
4 points of damage.
4 points.
Yeah.
So you can. So again, it's kind of late in the game, so it doesn't really matter. But you can reduce this to half a squad. Then there'll be half a squad in there, and then pin him and the half squad. Is how you conserve casualties.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Alright, so I'm going to delete this. Create 2 new half squads. Leave one of them in the bone pile. Put the other one over here. And these guys are now suppressed. I mean, they're safe from assault because the only guys near them have already moved. But that was what's supposed to happen before this. So it's technically, well, no, just for people in the chat later. Also, this goes up on Valor Victory, Board Game Geek, and so on. That was the opportunity fire that gas took was capital T exclamation point. Technically illegal, but that's totally my fault as a rules mistake. So I'm going to leave that Jeep burning. But that's why if it seemed like a stupid move, this is what I had in my head. But that's what I get for not paying attention. Meanwhile, these guys all fired. And, okay, literally everybody is suppressed. He's already fired, I believe. Didn't he fire at my Jeep? Oh, no, he didn't. We said, never mind. All right, so are these guys going to take any defensive or opportunity fire down here in the south? Quebec 11?
Yeah, they'll take defensive. Opportunity fire into they'll carry on with their exchange with the guy with the pistol.
Okay, so it's technically going to be defensive fire.
Yeah.
Because there's a bonus for opportunity fire, but cool. So yeah, 5 points. Add 1 for the wall.
A 7.
7 becomes an 8. Yeah, that wall has a lot of bullets in it. Between the two of us, there's no windows left in the front of this building, and there's a lot of stone missing, chipped up off that stone wall there. And the last bit of movement, because this guy did not have line of sight, he is going to. Again, the first one's free, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now he's going to rally and then take a shot at me. 10, 11, 12. That does get me to where I can
see the plane.
See that last plane. All right, cool. So that'll be for next turn. All right, and that's it for my turn, except for the assault, which is automatic.
Yep.
I just have to declare who's going in there, because when you assault the hex, you actually go in there. That's technically a quote-unquote vehicle, so only 2 units can go in there. The officers will stay back and let the men enjoy their party. Awesome. I'm tired of that friggin' flat gun. It cost me at least 2 vehicles. Shout out some infantry. Damn, you're wiped out Wow's platoon. Okay, or patrol, I should say. All right, that concludes my turn. I've got nobody pinned. Over to you for turn 4.
Yeah, well, we'll try to rally.
Well, at the beginning of your turn, it's automatic.
Okay. No, essentially is just, I think we'll just go straight to firing what units I've got left, because I don't think they'll need to do any real movement.
Well, it fires
There's
first,
no point.
so yeah, you've got 2 stacks of infantry left.
Yeah, so we'll continue to face off over the wall initially. See if we can finally take
it
him
just
out.
won't end. They're having an old West gun battle out here.
A 6 this time.
6 becomes 7 on 5
that's a
points.
1.
You pin them
No.
down.
So still didn't manage to take him out. But at least we got him ducking for the first time. I think that is literally the first time we've even made him duck. I think the wall's just got so many holes, stuff's going through it now.
Yeah, it's finally, the wall's finally starting to degrade a little bit.
Yeah. And the guys in the north, I mean, is there any point really in engaging them? 2, 3, 4. You know what? They're just gonna. In fact, you've got another full turn, yeah, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take out the plane, but
Yeah, I'm just thinking about saving them now to save a couple of points. But even if they fell back in the building,
if they fall back in the building, then I can't take fire at you. I mean, that autocannon's probably not going to dig you out of that building. I'd have to assault.
yeah.
And
You know what? They'll stay as they are and just sort of stay ready to engage.
okay. Then we go to okay. So if we're not doing any fire or movement, then we go to my defensive fire, which there is a fair or a decent amount. All right. First of all, make sure I measured this right. Pretty sure I did. Yeah, he's just peeking around again, center dot to center dot. He just barely managed to get a line of sight on another vehicle. He's within 10, so it's the normal chance to hit of 10. Do it! With a 3, hell yeah.
Ooh, very cool.
He finally got his gun sight fixed. Alright, so that's him for him. That's it for him on fire. We're gonna try to pour some fire into this building over here.
Yeah.
And we're still at 12, plus 2, minus 2. That is 8 on 12.
Point
One
damage.
casualty point.
Tap the officer.
The officer's a -1, so that's up to him.
Yeah, we'll tap him.
Okay. He's pinned. Alright, that's it for my defensive fire.
Cool.
There's nothing
No,
else that's a target right now.
Yeah, no assaults, no after action.
You do get to try to rally that officer on a 6 or less.
Okay. No.
Alright. Again, guys, I don't want to waste up too much of the chat's time, or especially Gaz's time, especially since it's what, like 10 o'clock where you are now?
Something like that. But I'm not in work tomorrow, so it's not a problem.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah,
I have to
it's
go to
'cause
work,
of-
but I get to work from home, so it's not that bad.
It's a public bank holiday for the funeral tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so yeah, we won't belabor the point, but now that it's my turn, okay, we're gonna go ahead and take that 12 minus 1 to 1. I'm sorry, that 12 again with no modifiers. Hopefully, pin down that last squad so that Dennis can carry in the assault and just wrap the game up. So here we go with 12 points on no modifiers. Ooh, a terrible roll.
Oh,
he got away with
my.
that. He's making a last stand, folks.
He's trying to slap the officer to consciousness right now.
There's a corporal there that's doing better than that lieutenant.
Standard.
Yeah, right. I'm Risky Jim, and I approve this message. There are a couple officers who do watch us once in a while. And actually, it cost me 2 points to jump over this wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
10 pence short.
Yep. Opportunity fire, point blank.
Yeah, why not?
2
It's a
points
smaller stack.
only, but you get to subtract. You get to subtract 2 from your roll.
Because it's adjacent. A 7.
7 becomes a 5. That's 2 casualty points.
Wow.
Pin.
Not really though, because you can just pin them out.
Yeah, and then they follow up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta be careful here. 6. And then Dennis. Oh no, let me not be cheesy. I can't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna have to do that without an officer. Or, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3. Is it better to send in 8 points without an officer or send in 6 points with an officer? It kind of comes out to the same.
It's the age-old that Valor and Victory question, Jim.
It kind of is. All right,
Do
so
I need an officer or do I not need an officer? Is manpower better or do you want the leadership?
Okay, I say this every time we play Valor and Victory. I'll say it one more time. The official rule in the game is leader. Now, I always say officer, but I really shouldn't do that.
Well, it's a non-commissioned officer, even if it
There you
is.
go.
So it
Especially
fits.
since historically, like Dennis is a sergeant. Jack Dennis is the guy who took over, historically, he took over G Troop when his lieutenant had to get flown out. No, captain had to get flown out after an accident.
So we're safe, Jim, because he's a senior non-commissioned officer. We're all good.
Okay, cool. So I'll do it that way. All right. So because he did not go in with the officer, he stops at 5
Cool.
because he no longer has an officer with him. Just to wrap things up, because I doubt this will go till next turn, but just in case once he gets to that point, my Jeeps, we're just gonna like Waco, Texas, the hell with that guy.
All the flashing lights and the sirens and everything.
Yeah. Like one guy steps up out of the Jeep, come out with your hands up. We're not kidding this time. Mr. Tippett, I think you want to stay behind that wall. I want to run, but if I run, you're going to shoot at me. So he's going to stay pinned down behind that wall. He already fired. All right, cool. So with taking my opportunity fire, the assault goes in. He's automatically destroyed. Now I have to carry the assault in. I've got a total of 6 points versus 2. 3 to 1, -1 off the die roll. So I have to roll a 10 or less.
Yeah, here it is, Jim. Come on, Jim. Let's see that
Okay,
11.
the assault succeeds.
Oh, you're back to the double threes, are we? Oh, you put them dice back in.
Now that did cost me 3 casualty points.
Yeah.
And I only have 2 units in there, so that cost me a half squad.
Actually cost you points.
Yep. I probably shouldn't have done that. But I'm just trying to wrap up the game
Yeah.
here. All right, cool.
We'll see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, I may have
about
just lost
5 minutes. Yeah, that would be quite funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so that wraps up my turn. I then try to rally some guys. I don't have a functioning officer or leader in Oscar 2, so I only roll against the normal elite rating of 7. The officer does rally, barely.
Nice.
The half squad does quite easily.
Yeah.
So the corporal got up before the sergeant. Again,
Elite.
That's a cheat.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, Sergeant, will you get up off your belly? You're embarrassing the squad. Alright, cool. That wraps up. Do the Italians want to take a turn fire, or do we just want to call it?
I want to take my pot shot. I need to try and kill that one guy that I've been firing at for about, feels like forever now.
Sergeant Tippett, bring it!
Let's go. Let's bring it on. Come on, it's got to be time now. Let's see what I
One to your
get.
die roll.
I got a 6.
6 becomes a 7.
So I pinned him again.
Pinned him down again. Look, we're just gonna stay here until you run out of bullets. It's
It's like by the time I finish, there'll be 5 jeeps outside this building. There'll be the entire infantry. Just we stood there, just still trading fire with Sergeant Tipper.
All right, so that concludes turn 5. We're just gonna go ahead and finish it up there. That is 2 half squads, so that's actually 2 units there, believe it or not, plus 1. So there's a grand total of 3 units left. All right, cool. So let's figure out the score here and wrap up the stream. So we'll do the British score first, because the victory conditions in this game are a little complicated. Destroyed vehicles. The trucks do not count. We destroyed both auto blindas and the truck. The artillery unit did not count. Okay. The reason I put destroyed vehicles in there, and this actually came into the thing, be a factor in the historical event. Whenever the LRDG would attack one of these airfields or fuel dumps, they blew up all the vehicles they could, even though that wasn't the objective, because that means they could get away easier. They have to cross 800 miles of open desert. That's easier to do when the enemy doesn't have trucks. So they would take out, all vehicles that they could. There's a great book written by one of my favorite military authors, Stephen Pressfield, called Killing Rommel.
I know it well.
Oh, you've read the book? Okay, so do you remember that they were pinned down by one German armored car with a 2-centimeter gun for like 3 chapters, it seems?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but, that's the realities of the situation as well. I also enjoyed his Gates of Fire about the Spartans.
Oh,
that
hell
was interesting.
Absolutely.
So,
one of my,
I do like his stories.
He's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite authors. Even when he
I
doesn't.
like to call him a faction writer, because even his fiction is built on fact. So.
I was going to say that's Last of the Amazons.
Oh yeah.
It's clearly not, strictly historical. I mean, he has Theseus in there for crying out loud. But at the same time, it's an amazing book. It's really cool.
And his Alexander one was really interesting.
Yep. Virtues of War.
Yeah. Right, Jim. What's the scores on the doors?
His little maxim at the back of that book. He's like, the horse has to be smarter than the rider, or you don't have good cavalry. I think that was one of them. And then he said something like, move. Cavalry only draws power from movement. Stationary cavalry is no cavalry at all.
Well, a lot of people don't realise that Alexander's army was built by his father Philip, and that's what actually was probably the largest contributor to him becoming the powerhouse he was.
Big Daddy Philip II, the one-eyed Philip II, deserves most of the credit.
Absolute beast, yeah.
Absolutely agree. Okay, so destroyed aircraft. I did get all 7 aircraft. Oops.
Yeah, you did.
So that might save me.
My poor little smoking planes now.
Oh God, I had it written down what planes those were. It's in the Discord. It's like Cant 1007 Kingfisher bombers.
Right.
Okay, so destroyed vehicles. I got 3 vehicles. That's going to be 6. And destroyed infantry leaders. Okay, so you started off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You've got 3 left. That means that there are 13 of them eliminated.
Yep.
Total British score or Commonwealth score is 34-40. I think that is.
Wow.
Anyone wants to check my math? Okay, remaining vehicles. You have no remaining vehicles.
No.
Boink.
I have no remaining aircraft.
Remaining aircraft, 0. Destroyed infantry and leaders. 1, 2, 3. At 5 points apiece. That is 15. Or technically 3. Becomes 15. And then destroyed vehicles times 3. I lost at least 3 vehicles. 1, 2,
it was 3.
That is 9 points. Oh, it wasn't as close as I thought. That sucks.
24.
That, we're going to count vehicles as 5 as well. So that is 3
30
of those. Yeah, because that game felt close.
Yeah.
Historically, again, I only made up this scenario the other day. So this I may be off on the victory points, but historically, they only got I think four men lost and like 2 vehicles lost. So
Yeah.
I lost 1 additional vehicle, and there's 12 men rendered combat ineffective. So out of those, that's probably 3 dead and 6 wounded. Because every one of
And
these
to be
is 4
fair
men.
to you, one of those vehicles was a gimme.
Yeah, but also a straight out rules mistake on my part.
That's what I mean, yeah. So that final Jeep would never have gone down anyway. So you'd have been about even on history.
Cool. Which is kind of what we're going for here. We don't want the game always, guys, to turn out exactly like history, but that's where we aim our victory conditions, is the historical result. All right, guys. That is going to wrap things up, I think. Let me check the chat. Let's make sure I'm not missing anything major. Although I know it's been a while here. Red or white wine? Oh, we're talking about the Italians. It's Italians. It's the white, not beer. Just go with it. It's real. It's real. It's going to cost them a fortune in the mess. Yeah, if that's the mess hall, there's a lot of pasta pots and pans with holes in them, because that building is pretty badly shot up. Then again, It's only been a pistol. But you can only reload that 6-shooter so many times.
Yeah.
Ben says darkness is spreading, everybody. Yeah, because the tables have turned. I felt it. I felt it on like the back end of turn 2. I think it was my defensive fire phase. I'm like, all of a sudden my guys learned how to shoot. And then ironically, Ben, it was when darkness was lifted that I actually could start to shoot better. So I kind of see what Gaz was doing, protecting his trucks. I actually kind of like that because I have more long-range weapons than he does, and I have to attack him, so it actually behooves him. Usually, you think about it like in the movies, commando guys, they like it to stay dark. Here, the defender wanted it dark.
Definitely. Wanting to make that +1 difficulty for as long as possible. It probably kept my anti-air up a turn longer than it would have been.
There were a couple times I missed by 1. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. 100%.
Which is, now that I think about it, in the historical record, probably why like the first thing somebody did, I can't remember which guy it was. Somebody threw a grenade into an Italian fuel truck, and we need some light. All right, I'll take care of it. Here you go. Sorted. All right, guys, go get them. Cool. So Ben says, seriously cool game. Gaz, I blew up all my planes. Was the DC-3 prettier? I would agree with that, because these Cant 1007s are kind of ugly, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like those planes.
Oh, you leave my planes alone. You've blown them up. You don't have to diss them in the follow-up as well.
How about I'm not making fun of your planes? I'm making fun of my counters.
That's fair.
And I'm making fun of German. I mean, the anti-G was just an ugly plane. Let's be real. The Germans loved them. That's why they called them anti-G, because that was the one that brought in their fuel. That's when those were the planes that flew them out of Stalingrad. That was the ambulance plane that got you out of the battlefield. Hence the affectionate nickname.
It's like the Black Hawk of the American military.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, we wound up with a 30-40 win. Again, this wasn't even supposed to be a live game, so again, thanks very much for coming out, guys.
That's no worries.
All right. The Bills are on Monday night this week, so starting next Sunday, I'm going to miss some streams. Oh, no worries, Ben. I'm actually surprised to see you. Yeah, Ben's a huge football fan. So now that we're in, oh, by the way, we're talking about American football, so, I mean, now that we're in football season, yeah, we're going to probably lose some subscribers since we always, not subscribers, but viewers, since we tend to stream on Sunday afternoon here in the States. All right, so, yeah, other than that, we've now been up for, good grief, a little over 3 hours. Then again, we played an entire live game of Valor Victory, so no worries there. Yeah, let me know if you ever want to try it out again, guys. I can send you the rules. Normally, I don't send out rules to people because, you know, that's not cool to do. However, again, these rules are free on the Board Game Geek website, so I can send these rules to anybody who wants them. The original Valor and Victory, I have the latest edition, which is the standard D+1 edition. And of course, we have the Modern Rules expansion by yours truly. Personally endorsed by the man himself, Barry. So before I published it, I reached out to him and said, hey, here's a sample of what I got. Am I cool to publish this? And he was like, actually, I always had this on my plate to do it eventually. Thank you for taking it off my plate because I want to work on something else. So, yeah, We have a modern expansion that we've used for all kinds of battles, up to 2007 so far, I think, was the most recent example. Anywhere between Indochina in 1954 up to 2007 in Afghanistan. So if anyone's interested in that, check us out on Discord. The link is on our description if you're not already a member of our Discord. Other than that, if you like this video, please give it a like. It's helping us out with subscribers a great deal. We definitely appreciate it. Or a comment, or a share, or if you're not subscribed, consider giving us a subscription. We definitely appreciate it. But for now, this is Risky Jim. Thanks to Gaz one more time.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Jim.
Absolutely, guys. We're rounds complete. Tango Mike for listening, everybody, and we'll be in touch with some more content later on this week.